Welcome to the Bigger Play, where the rubber meets the road, and we get straight to it. Yes, sir. Did experiencing a bad relationship turn you off or push you to self-improvement? Yeah. We had a conversation about it the other night. Crazy. You'll be surprised how you think is your experience, but everybody else experienced different things. You'll be surprised how many different people look at that and navigate that completely different. It's a powerful question. One that a lot of people wrestle with in difficult relationships. Many people find it in bad relationships, but they could do both. So you have to ask yourself the question about when you're in that relationship, how does it make you feel about the next one that you're going to enter? And that's what you got to do. You got to ask yourself that question. And the other night we were talking about it. We had a lot of people come through with different perspectives. And to be honest, you'll be surprised how different and how difficult it gets. It's a real reality. So what I've seen is that emotionally and relationally, it can turn you off because it can shake your trust. It can create vulnerability that you're not ready to express or lead to burnout. Some people, like drugs, experience withdrawal. They avoid intimacy. And a lot of people struggle with resentment. Yeah. Or low self-worth, low self-value, low self-esteem after being hurt or after a breakup, which causes that hurt. This is how deep it get and went. Now, it can also push you to self-improvement, right? On the other hand, a tough breakup can be a wake-up call. It might force you to reflect on self, do some self-reflection on your patterns, your accountability, your boundaries, your communication, things of that nature, or even what you truly looking for in an individual. You have to take accountability is what I learned. See, what we do is have expectations for our counterpart. And if the expectations aren't met, we become upset with them. But who are you to expect this other person to be how you want them to be as opposed to them being who they are? And that's who you love. That's who you got in a relationship with. And that's who you like. Yeah, it goes deep like that. But the only thing that will help you is evaluating yourself and see if you could have did things different to facilitate a different outcome with said individual or yourself within that relationship. Yeah, these facts. So you can seek therapy after the fact, better yourself. You can start a journal, better yourself. You can have a sort of self-reflection, self-discovery, better yourself. You can focus on fitness, career, your goals, aspirations. Because a lot of times we become complacent and we put distance between ourselves and our purpose because we put so much emphasis on the person we're dealing with. And then when it go left, it's like a withdrawal. We become disattached. So it's really any number of things that can facilitate that and help you with that. So it's and it's something to think about. You know, the key difference is how are you able to heal and process that experience? Heal and process that pain. Heal and process that hurt. Heal and process that vulnerability and a host of other things. So we want to get into this ASAP. So without no further ado, make it make sense.
Right. So when I called,
no, we can't talk at the same time.
Well, I apologize for being late. Excuse me.
Stop.
Are
Miss
you?
Otterbridge,
You
get put
asked me a
out, okay?
question. I'm
I
just trying to
know.
answer it.
I know. Put whatever you're trying to prepare
I'm trying to
down.
see my daughter.
Get your coat. You gotta put your properly dressed on. I
I
don't do
am
the
properly dressed.
robes.
I have on a t-shirt. I am
Is
properly
that a
dressed.
robe? Is that a robe?
It's the problem, sir. I'm not even doing this. You asked me a question. I'm answering. My daughter is sick. I had to keep her home from school. I'm just trying to feed her. That is
That's
it.
understandable, but you're in court.
Miss Otterbridge. Miss Otterbridge, I'm sorry that your daughter is sick. But again, you're in court, okay? And we're gonna treat it as such. I asked
Okay,
you.
I'm properly dressed.
No, don't talk while I'm talking.
I have on clothes.
Don't.
I have on
Don't.
clothes. I have on clothes.
Fine.
Wow. Make it make sense. Trauma, disrespect, not knowing how to carry yourself in a certain decorum, in a certain type of atmosphere. We are a nation of laws, whether right or wrong. Since the pandemic, they have made it a lot of things for convenience purposes, which means you used to have to physically show up in court unless you was an inmate. Now it's virtual, almost damn near for everybody. The young lady knows she had court and could have done all this prior to court. The judge appears to be very respectful, and can you make that make sense? Can you do that for me? It's sad to me because while he was talking, she's constantly talking. While he talking, she constantly talking. She's trying to inform her, having empathy, letting her know I understand your daughter's sick. Man, why you didn't do all this prior to? You know you had court today. Savage. Savage. See, not healing, broken relationships, it can cause this type of behavior because if you had a good relationship, that means you'll have a better balance. And if you have a better balance, that means you're cognizant of the things that you are doing. And if you're cognizant of the things you're doing, there's no way you're showing up to court and the judge feel like you improperly dressed. You absolutely improperly dressed. You got a child. I know people say, bro, you don't know her situation. I don't, but I do. Convenience will allow people to think they could just pull up any type of way and talk any type of way. First of all, the young lady should have be quiet, listen to the judge instruction. And based on what my assessment is of this judge, she would have listened to him, poised herself, fixed the things that he was telling her was out of line, which is her dress wear, the way she talking, the child being there, you're not on, all of that. He would have said, okay, let's continue this court date. Or if she could have just asked, Your Honor, I'm unprepared. Can I please just get another court date? Somewhere where you could have had dialogue and you listening to Your Honor, but she didn't. She didn't. Reckless. Therapy, counseling, prayer. Yeah. Make that make sense because that's very sad. She said it, I did.
I really hate how easy y'all make it for these men because when they get with me, they make it seem like I'm just asking for too much. When I'm really asking for a little shit. Because a date is a requirement. Because how do you plan on seeing me? You think I'm going to pull up on you or you think you're going to pull up on me? It don't work like that. I mean, maybe when I was like 18, 19, I was okay with pulling up on a block. I'm seeing a nigga, I'm bailing out. You know what I'm saying? That was cute back then. I'm a grown-ass woman with shit going on in her life. Can't no man say, I want to see you. How do you plan on seeing me? What time the reservation, babes? How do you...
She said it, I didn't. However, I will call cap. Remember this and remember this only. If that woman like you, adore you, respect you, she pulling up wherever you at. And make no mistake about it. It doesn't take years for her to garner those feelings. Unless she don't like you and she trying to grow to love the potential you and all that other goofball Jamal talk. No. If she like you, bro, she going. She pulling up. Facts. Forget about the reservations. That's all cap. You can't grade your own paper, sweetheart. And that's what you're doing. You deem yourself to be that. No, it's the buyer that's grading that paper. We're going to tell you your value. Oh, I know you're mad. I know you're mad at me. But it's the truth. Mm-hmm.
And all this other stuff. Yes, you're going to get, that backfire or whatever. But when it comes down to access, just think about when you was a young man and we was going out to go look for women or the 304s or whatever it may be. That is something that we have to do. We have to go on a hunt when we go look for these women, opposed to the women.
Yeah, but
Can I finish?
when
Let
we
me land. Let me land. Let me land.
go ahead.
And when it comes down to women or whatever the case is, they're more, and I'm saying this with love, more of the prey. You know what I'm saying? It's not hard to be a really, really pretty woman and walk into a club and at least 15, 20 dudes try to get at you. You know what I'm saying? Now, this boils down to the morals of the woman. If she's not like that, she's just really pretty, they're going to have to eat their hearts out. But if she's really pretty and she's like that, then we got one. It goes both ways. I'll end.
Yeah. All right. And so, wow, damn, I forgot. You talking about the 304? Like when we was young and we were going out looking for the 304s, we knew how to distinguish the 304s from the ones that weren't 304s.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Have you ever been cheated on?
Yeah, everybody
No,
been
no, I'm just
cheating
asking. I'm
on.
just asking because this right here determines on how weary that hunt is. Because we be thinking that this is the one, but in all reality, she has 304 tendencies. So
I mean,
so determining whether they are 304 or not, we ain't gonna know that until a couple weeks, a month or so into the relationship or talking to them. You feel me?
yeah, that could that's not really because it's signs and like it's stuff that you see that you know that you be like, yeah, I can hit this girl first night. I ain't even gotta take on no date. Like you know, bro. Like if you don't know, you ain't out there in the field like that,
All right, put
bro.
it like this.
Cause like when you go out, you be like, all right, this chick right here, bro. Like, yeah, we vibing and everything. Like, yeah, I'm about to take her to the spot, and see. But the ones that present themselves in that type of manner, you gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna just try and get her number.
I guess it's in a certain type of setting that this will work or whatever. But I would say this, right? I know some nurse practitioners that get it in. They just like that or whatever. They're extremely smart, extremely professional. When they come out the house, they're not out of place or whatever the case is. But some of them are my friends, and I talk to them about it. I'm like, listen, you a pretty girl. You don't have to do this type of stuff or whatever the case is. I'm just saying it's hard to determine that by just going off of their appearance or whatever because you
No, it's not off of just appearance
it's
though.
very listen, if you going to, like I said, if it's a certain setting, then I get it. But if you going out on the town or whatever the case is and everybody dressed the same way, everybody
But
drunk the same way, how you gonna determine that?
because you throwing out bait and seeing what bite, and then once you get in the situation where you can get a feel for the person you talking to, you already know, like, yeah, I maybe have a chance just off of the way that they communicate and reacting to certain things. You like, yeah, I got a chance to take this down tonight,
So you think that works in all settings or just like a club setting?
Yeah, like long anytime you talk to a person, you can figure in that, like you can feel the way that they type what they giving off. You know, be like, it don't
if
matter
if
if you
if
ain't like,
if
yo,
we
people
had
done
if we
took
had that
people
type of
down in
feeling,
church,
if we
yo.
had that type of feeling and that type of like intuition,
It don't matter if you
people
in church or
listen.
the club.
If we had that intuition, nobody would be getting cheated on. If we had that intuition from talking to people within the first couple weeks, couple months, whatever it may be, conversation, a lot of people wouldn't get cheated on. And the reason behind that is because we'll be able to feel them out and know who they is. A lot of people,
Nah, yeah, nah, it
if
just
you dating somebody, you really not gonna know who they really is until that 6 months. When
mean
y'all
they
start,
deceiving you. That mean they deceiving you, yo. You ain't like,
that happens though.
yeah,
Hey,
it
You know what I'm
happens,
saying?
but
gentlemen,
I'm saying,
it just goes to show if I knew then what I knew now. We can always
Exactly.
debate, but most of us grew up in poverty-stricken areas, right? Well, I'm not gonna say right, but I grew up in a poverty-stricken area, and in poverty-stricken area comes single-parent households. With single-parent households come little girls that are being washed, and little boys do don't have fathers to tell them, "Hey, don't do that." So we gonna keep it 100 though. We gonna, you know what I'm saying? We not gonna keep sugarcoating and speaking like politicians, and we not, bro. The
Nah, yeah,
ones
nah,
in
we
the
not
ones in the
talking
poverty
morally.
stricken, the ones
Yeah,
in the poverty stricken area are
they giving it up.
the most easy ones to get. So
You can figure it out in the
we
first
come
10
up
minutes.
around 304s before we seen ladies really.
You can figure it out in the first
You,
10 minutes in
you,
most cases.
You
you know
remember
what? This is the
BET
You may be
Uncut?
drama.
You remember
deceived.
I
BET
You
disagree.
may
Uncut?
be deceived, but you
I
gonna
disagree.
figure it out, yo. And you
You
only
remember Two
deceived
Live
because
Crew?
you not on game.
You
I
remember Two
disagree.
Live Crew and all that? Your mama's busting it open, I ain't is busting it open. Like, come on, bro. Like y'all act like this just not start. It just got worse through social media because women
No, no, they more
sexualize
open
themselves.
now. They more open about
They
it
the new
now.
predators. Women are the new predators now, bro.
Exactly. They
If your pimping
choosing.
ain't
They the
proper,
ones that choosing.
nah, but your pimping have to be proper as a man, bro. They ain't choosing nothing. And they ain't choosing nothing with me. Like I do the
Oh nah,
choosing.
nah. Real nigga
You
choose,
know,
but
You got a
they
lot of
choose.
men. You
They
got a lot of
choose.
men out here who wasn't getting no play in high school, bro, and now they getting a little paper. Them the ones they turn up.
Oh yeah, that's the ones that say that they don't know if they're 3 or 4 until like 2, 3 weeks after they
They
done.
get mad at ones like us because I'm gonna tell you, look, mom, how much? How much for it? I ain't finna beat around the bush with you because you
Yeah, yeah.
presenting it a certain
I
way.
can assure you, niggas do not even. But go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, you ain't never
I'll
you
respond,
never asked a
Sean.
woman how much before. You never asked a woman like shit.
Nah,
She throwing
I
this to
bet
you.
you he hasn't.
Ask her what?
How much?
I guarantee you ain't.
How much what?
See,
how
See,
much
see
brain.
what
weight
I
she
just
gained,
tell
how
you,
much
bro?
she money, how, if
Based
she
off of the
successful or not, if she's
conversation
broken
we
or
just
not.
had, I know he ain't
One,
that
one,
type
one,
of
one,
dude.
one person at a time. But go ahead. What am I supposed to be
Actually,
asking?
most of men now in these days, all right, is salty. When a woman asks, yeah, how much, what kind of work you do, how much you making, if you are still work,
About
and if you
American
ask,
women.
yeah, if you ask the woman how much weight you are, how much money you make, you hear
No,
six
no, no.
figures
You're
already.
No,
not.
no,
No, no,
no.
no.
How
Oh
I'm
my
a
much to
God,
bust it open
You see
for
what
a
I'm
man,
real
saying?
that's not
You
end?
see
that's
what
red
I'm
flag,
saying?
bro.
Listen
No,
to
how
all
much to
three of them
bust it
though.
open for a real end?
like
I'm
we're
sorry,
talking.
bro.
We're talking about American women, not nobody
That's
else.
what he
American
Just
talking
women.
listen to
about.
him, ladies. Let him go for about 2 more minutes,
Yeah, let
and
him
then I
land, yo.
respond.
That's what he's saying. But
Yeah,
go ahead, bro.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like most of women that are respecting men do everything, but when you ask a woman, "What do you have to bring it to me with me?" No, 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 no. Your money is our money, but my money is my money. And guess what? She's all right about that. But what did you have before you have that life? It's a lot of things. If you ask it, the women the same exactly questions they're asking us, that got you broke. You are red flag. It's true way.
I agree.
To
Man,
America, they gonna run through you.
I understand your argument, but it's
They
kind
gonna
of
run
weak
through
in
you over here
pieces,
talking like
bro.
that in America, all Belgium and Swedish
Yeah,
chocolate.
bro.
They'll tear your
I
ass ragged
understand
over
what you're
here, boy. Go
saying, but
on.
the argument weak, bro. Like
He'll see a
you
BBL
need to
from
just
Georgia or
text me what to
Texas and
say,
lose
and
his
I'll put
mind.
the on it.
And guess what? Another things you can see, like, I'm sorry, is make me laugh. Like, she's bought a wig, she have nails, she have all this, and you tell her, "Are you not?" Of course, I'm not, the babe. What are you thinking about? You know what I'm saying?
I just know I've been around enough women to know, you know what I'm saying, how to determine the shit. And I'm from Detroit. So like at
Yeah,
the end of
but
the
you
day,
probably
so
had a
like
lot of women friends though.
I love this thing.
a lot of women friends.
But y'all kind of proving what
What?
Anthony said. Y'all don't take the time to heal during relationships.
Man,
Y'all go
forget all
from
that
one
take time
No,
to
position.
heal,
no,
No,
man.
no, no.
it ain't
We
about
busting it
healing.
open.
It's about
It's not
learning
hurting us
from. It's about learning
much.
from the
Ain't
Like,
nobody
wrongs
healing.
that committed to
no.
us.
This ain't no counseling session. I'm trying to get up under something. As soon as I get up off of one, you playing it. Stop playing
Yeah,
Guess
it.
what?
like
Men don't
When
yo,
we have
heal. We
broken
keep it
we
relationship,
real.
know
Men don't
how to
heal.
distinguish a relationship
exactly. Yes.
and something that's not a relationship, basically, yo.
We don't
So
hold spirits
If
of
that
all the
was
like,
the
women we
all
bust
right,
case,
down.
if
so
that
We
so
was
don't
the
hold the
so
case,
so
energy.
we
nobody
can.
would be getting cheated on or left, bro. That's not true, my nigga. If
You
that
said
was the
what?
case, nobody would be getting cheated on like that. Y'all telling me one
Bro,
thing right, and then
everybody
you
is not a
contradicting
monolith,
yourself.
bro. Yo, you talking about your personal
But I'm
You
reaction
not
done
to
been
though.
stuff,
cheated
bro.
on a couple
But I'm
times, huh,
not though.
Darren?
But I'm not
Darren, you
though.
done been cheated on a couple times,
Yeah,
right?
Nah. Y'all been cheated on. That's why y'all
nigga,
talking like
bro,
that.
Can I
everybody
ask you
been
Y'all
cheated
something?
niggas been
on,
cheated
bro.
on bad, and
Because
I
you
You a
don't.
steady
fool
talking
if you
about a
These
think
woman
you never
cheating.
been
these
cheated
chicks
on,
hurt
bro.
y'all like that. But all I'm
Yeah,
saying
All
is
right.
this:
nah,
I
ain't
know,
nobody
nigga.
hurt
No, no,
me,
no,
I
no.
bro.
know. I
I'm married.
know.
I've been
I
married since
know.
One at a time,
I
2018,
guys.
know.
One at a
bro.
time. One at a
Nah,
time.
nah,
One at a
nah.
time.
I'm gonna
No.
One at
be
a time,
honest. I
please.
have been cheated on, but I wasn't sexually active back then. So I did turn sort of, but I was like
Nah,
13,
it's
14. I
different
What?
was
when
like
you get
13,
active, though.
14. I was like 13, 14, bro. So I was young. That don't count.
Nah, it's
When I got
different when you
grown,
get active.
look
Obviously,
from
it does
look I,
count
now
because
now
you
now
still think about it.
I feel what am I saying from that one heartbreak. I didn't get my heart broke no more, and I've been with the same woman since I was
Yeah,
19.
Can I say?
exactly. Because
Cause
you
I didn't
learn,
Can I say
you
tolerate
learn
something?
how to,
I didn't
you
tolerate
learn
that
how,
bullshit no more.
you learn what it
You know
was,
what?
and then you learn how to
Kershaw, we
react.
gotta
And,
use
and
another word. Use another
Oh,
word.
I didn't tolerate that bull crap no more. I didn't tolerate it no more. Man, once a woman hurt you,
No,
boy, I ain't going through that no more. If a man, boy, if you sitting
Nigga,
there
you
let a
was
woman hurt you 3, 4
13.
times, yeah, because I had a father. My father told me because that girl was real pretty and I really
yo,
liked her.
that's a big fact. That like, yo, that make a big difference,
My
yo.
daddy came and told me, he said, "What's wrong with you?" He was like, "Some little girl
Yo,
hurt your feeling, didn't he?" He said, "Boy,
it was
shake,
like,
back,
it's
go get you
another one
another
out
one. Go
there.
get you another one." That's what my daddy told
It's
me. Go get you
another,
another
yo.
one.
I swear to God, it's
He said,
another
"It's
one
plenty
out
fish
there.
out there, son." He called y'all fish. My daddy called y'all fish.
That's why I say. That's why I say when money and you throw stuff out there, that's just bait to see what bite, yo.
You better not have a wedding ring
That's
on
just
nowadays,
that's
boy.
just
They sure want you.
excuse me, guys. Can I say something? I want to add it as well about breaking stuff. When a man breaking, when he took the brands, oh mate, book with my girl. It's alright, mate. It's okay. That happens. You know what? Just to get focus. But imagine if the girls, she's broken up with the guy. He didn't deserve you. You deserve better. You this, you that, you this, you that, you
Hey,
this.
hold on. Let
This
me
is a
stop
lot of
you right
things.
there, bro. Let me stop you right there. They ain't even got to be broken up. He can tell her that stuff, and she still might go.
There's how y'all doing, panel? I appreciate you for inviting me up. But look, there's two things that happens with the man when he goes through something with the woman. For the ladies that keep saying certain things that I hear, it's either gonna make you bitter or it's gonna make you better.
Bro, I got
Uh,
faith in you just because you said that, yo. Come on, talk to him.
it's gonna make you bitter or it's gonna make you better. The ain't sugar honey iced tea dude most of the time is gonna make him bitter, and he gonna try to go and smash everything he can when he can, because he gonna do all he can. He gonna be in the clubs. He gonna be ever blowing the bag, trying to blow the club up, so to say. So that's the bitter person, and it ain't nothing you gonna do until he's ready to change him, until he's ready to change himself. But that heartbreak gonna tie him up, and it's gonna make him extremely bitter. Now the one that is gonna make him better, what he gonna do, he gonna go and get in the gym. He gonna get his finances even better than what it possibly is. He gonna dig off into himself to go after a better quality woman, the one that he feels like ain't gonna be about that drama. And then he gonna send her through some tests. And those tests, you know, are gonna be some serious tests. And it might even be the test of see, it's like this dude just said. He gonna see if he can pay for it. And if uh, he gonna see if he can pay for it. Because it's gonna be how many times he gonna take you out. Now, how many times he take you out? It's him paying for it in his mind too. So that's that part of making him better. You know what I'm saying? So he gonna elevate himself to a different level of a different type of, I don't want to call it game, but a different type of person that puts him in a different level, to test you to see if you worthy of being in his presence, of the type of person that he's elevated himself to. And I
I'm
land my
sorry for
plane
cutting
now.
you, mate.
Facts.
I'm
That's
sorry for cutting
facts.
you. Have a nice day, guys. Enjoy yourselves. Now I have to go down now because I have daddy issues with my daughter. All right. See you later, guys. Enjoy
Okay,
yourself.
I'll talk to you in a minute, bro.
D
Appreciate you.
Will,
Yeah.
D
Good
Will.
night,
I
Aunt
like
Daddy.
that you said that. I like that you said
Appreciate you,
that, D
sir.
Will. A lot of women are gonna use what you said against the man that don't want them to try to get them to think how you're thinking. Do that make sense?
Hmm.
Yep.
It does. It
Yep.
does.
That's gonna go over their head. That's gonna go over their head.
Hmm. But see, here's the thing too that they don't realize. A man can only keep up. He's gonna, you get that certain type of man. He's gonna come out and he's gonna ask you, "What are you looking for in a person?" And they're gonna make that mistaken answer of what they're looking for. And guess what? A man gonna do. That ain't sugar honey iced tea man gonna do.
Nah,
He gonna
nah,
put.
nah. When
He
the
gonna.
when a man
He
asks a
he.
woman
Let me
that and
let,
she
let me
answers, oh,
and
go
he's
ahead,
going
go
to
ahead.
create that person for her. Now he can't keep it up for maybe about 45 days or until he done smash to see if it's even worth his time, you know. But a woman, if she can keep up hers for about a good 90 days.
Yeah, she can. She
You
can
know what I'm
fake it for
saying?
longer than that.
She can fake it for a good 90 days. But then once you start spiritually connecting with that woman, meaning you done smashed a few times and you done broke down the walls and you done got into there and you done had, smacks with her a few times.
And that
And so
real.
now you're becoming spiritually connected. So now you're gonna see who she really is.
But you ain't even got to do all that. All you got to do is put her in an uncomfortable situation to see how her character is before you even put your pum pum in her. You see what I'm saying? We
Exactly.
see you thinking with your
Exactly.
pum pum, D. Will. No,
Exactly,
I'm not
bro.
going. I'm a man. I'm gonna see her attitude before I even try to run up in her.
There you
Yeah,
go.
you
That's
you
that's
judge
that
a
level
woman
of
off character.
growth.
It's not
That's
level
that
of
level of
growth. It's not a level of
No,
growth. That's what men taught me. My daddy taught
that's the
me.
evolution of
We lost our
learning
way.
from your
We lost
mistakes.
our way, bro. As men, we ain't listen to our old men, what they did to our grannies. We not listening to what they did. They didn't talk this much to women, bro. They didn't try to get a woman to understand them. They didn't care. We
They
sitting
just
there
made a
talking to these
statement and
damn
that's
women
what it
like they
was.
really care what we saying, bro. And all it is you're talking, trying to talk. A lot of us are trying to talk up on a certain type of woman and hope that your conversation is so good enough that you get in her DM. That's what social media done turned into. It ain't turned into
Mhm.
nothing but a big dating site. Everybody's on here talking good. Then you talk up out of her panties, and all of a sudden she figure out, oh, you just a good talker like Obama. Pretty much.
Yup.
You
Yeah.
like the lies. Women love the lies. You love the lies.
And that's why they Democrats.
I ain't gonna say all that, but they love the lies, bro. Like for real, right? Like right now, baby, come here and be like, baby, how I look in this? You think I'm gonna tell her the truth or I'm gonna lie to
You gonna
She would
lie?
love for
her?
you to lie.
Cause she
You gonna
loved the
lie?
lie.
You knew you was big boned when you put that dress
Like
on.
what's all this like son in the past 15 years I'm hearing my man is my friend, I'm marrying my friend. I'm like, man, I don't want if you look at me like your friend, Lil Mama, we got a problem. That mean you look at me like an equal.
Provisions have changed.
Sister, that's fucking
Like men are
priceless.
allowing themselves to be friends with women that you don't like. You're not benefiting off her business wise. You're not getting anything
Hmm.
from her physically. So why would you want to be friends with a female if you're not getting any
All you
perks?
doing is giving.
No, she's learning from you to try to manipulate the man that she want that don't want her.
Come on now, take your
Exactly.
time. Take your
Exactly.
time.
No, I'm being honest now. Like we
I'm
speaking
just telling
facts.
you, take your time. Take your
Nah,
time. Take your time,
look,
baby.
No, go and talk
look,
about it.
they gonna hate you for
I
this.
don't care about the
Don't
hate.
talk to
I
them.
don't care, bro. Because at the end of the day,
I would love.
God made enough women for each man for us not to
Hmm.
care about what one think.
God say this man, then woman, then child. It's God, man, woman, and child.
Step out your door right now. Just no matter where you at, and just take a walk. You're gonna see a woman before you see a man, bro. So why would I worry about what one
Walking?
woman thinks? Why does it matter what she thinks when I have to live my life and walk in my purpose? But if she's gonna deal with you, she's gonna deal with you regardless.
Does
Exactly. That's
does
why.
does
That's why it
does this
shouldn't be
does
a
this go
problem for
vice
women
versa
to
for a
sign a
woman?
prenup.
It ain't nothing vice versa for a woman. See, I'm not trying to
Oh, I
think
was just
like them.
asking. I'm just
I'm not
asking.
look. What that's
No,
one thing.
I'm not
Oh,
telling you. I'm
nah,
not
ain't no
telling you to think.
sense over here,
I'm
bro.
not telling you to think like them, right? But if they
I'm
put
not
these
even trying to
criteria,
understand them.
if they
I'm
put
not
a
gonna do that.
criteria up like
No,
that
we
for their
thinking
husband, right?
logically.
This is a logical way.
I'm not thinking logical. Thinking
How,
logical. No, I would not try to think nothing like a woman. Because one thing I do
No,
respect
no,
about
no.
them.
Women
okay.
don't think logical though.
No.
They think emotionally.
Reason why I do respect the woman so much, bro.
Oh, I
because
love a good
they're
story.
able to tolerate a level of emotional stress that most men would unallow themselves at.
But a lot of them tolerate
Really?
it to get what they want though.
Yeah, they can
Look
tolerate,
at look
bro.
at the look at
Look.
the
We gonna
Cassie
be honest. We
situation.
gonna be honest. When a woman really loves you, like really loves you, and I've seen some men do some harsh things to women that really love him,
Yeah,
really
that's
love
true.
him, bro. I'm
You
talking
ain't
about a
never
woman will
you ain't never seen a
tolerate
woman
so
do that to a
much,
man?
bro. Look at you trying to sit there and feminize the stuff. But I'm talking about us and us on. I ain't worried about you,
Yeah,
bro.
My nigga, we
yo,
listen,
yo,
y'all
you
niggas,
need to mute
y'all
for about
terrible.
5 minutes
Y'all
while real
terrible,
niggas
my
talk.
man.
Wait,
Hear me,
language, y'all. Come on,
I
hear
language.
me,
mean, I'm sorry. I'm
hear me,
sorry.
hear me. Look, I'm not trying to sip nothing. I'm just saying, if they had a preference or whatever for a husband that they're looking for, would that be able to go vice versa? I'm not
Hey,
saying that she could be equal to you or
when
nothing like
my
Yeah,
that.
my
yo,
That's
granddaddy
all.
said,
yo,
So
it
let's,
don't
you
matter
know what
what you
I'm
looking for, yo. You get what you deserve.
look, my
If you
granddaddy
not, if you
said, when
not
you got
working to
women
be,
listening, keep them listening. They're listening, they're not talking right now. So apparently somebody's saying something that's worth
Yeah.
listening to, and you're trying to say something that make them talk back, and I ain't trying to hear them. No disrespect. I love them to life. I ain't trying to hear them, bro, because they will hurt your feelings. Well, I'm gonna get on here right now and say something to one of us and hurt all our feelings right now, bro. I promise you, one of them is capable of
but
doing that.
try to.
probably yours. It's
No,
funny.
I'm
Nah,
saying one
it's
of
I
these
not.
ain't
women
heard
are
shit the fuck
capable
up.
of
Ain't heard
hurting
nothing
our
over here.
feelings.
Nah,
I'm,
I
you know,
disagree.
you see what I'm saying hypothetically. Their mouth is sharper than anything, bro. Like for
Yeah,
real.
yo, he ain't lying to you, bro. Just listen to what he's saying, bro.
They mouth sharp, bro. That's why I ain't trying to hear him
He ain't
talking.
lying.
I put like this. I can't even look my woman in the eye when I'm talking to her, because if I do, I'll melt.
This shit is crazy.
For real. When I'm talking to my woman, I talk away from her. I don't look at her when I'm talking to her because I end up giving in to her.
Your,
I'm in
mo-
the
your woman must be 100% feminine, and she get a
yeah, bro. She looked me in my
yeah. She
eyes.
don't give you no feedback and nothing. She just hit you with the look and like, yes, daddy. And you like,
No,
damn.
she don't do that. No, baby, a little ignorant, but she don't do no talking back. She don't do
Yeah,
that.
that's what I'm
She
saying.
don't do
She
that.
submit, and she
No, no,
might
no, we
like,
don't do that. I don't do submit, baby. It's just attentive and she's respectful. I don't need her to submit. She ain't no slave. She's attentive.
no, I'm not submitting. Ain't being ain't
Because when
don't
you
mean
say submissive
slave.
nowadays, boy, that's a word that'll trigger a
No,
woman. Boy, you better not say submissive.
that's because they changed it into something that is really not.
Look, Paul, Peter, Simon, and
Being
Ezekiel,
submissive,
all them was gangsters.
that just mean that you basically contributing to the greatness of the man that you with.
I ain't no Christian.
You and
I
you
just want her to shut up and leave me alone.
Damn.
but nah,
Damn.
that's just the human
I'm just
nature that
being
God
honest. I'm
gave
just
you though.
being
You ain't
honest.
gotta
Like,
be a Christian. That's
just,
just the human nature
I'm
God
like,
gave.
that's just me. But I'm like, I don't like talking to a woman like that. But if I do, we're on the set, we're eating or something. You know what I'm saying? We finna get our groove on. But me just talking to a woman, nah, bro, that's annoying, dog. Cause she finna try to get me out of something, or she finna throw up something about some bills or something, bro. She finna talk you into something to bettering her situation than hurting yours, dog. She gonna
Yeah.
talk you into believing more in her than you believe in yourself.
They ain't gonna try and manipulate you, but
I love these women, bro, but I ain't finna talk to them because I gotta
no,
protect them. I gotta watch them, bro. I ain't finna talk to them, but I'm talking to
But
y'all.
how but how can she how can you protect them and without them speaking that hearing them speak that life
Because
into
I'm
you?
watching her.
he not talking about speaking like literally. He
Yeah,
just
not
talking
just being quiet,
about,
but I'm
bro,
saying like you just finna
you
talk to
going
me
too
like
far, yo.
we
Like,
cool,
nah, he ain't.
like you
He
talking
just
to me
talking
like you my
about.
home girl, and like, no, you can't talk to me like that. I'm your man, you
Nah,
my
he's
woman.
saying all they supposed to do is support his decision.
Cause baby run the house, I just run the home.
Yeah, but you gotta you the final say in how that home is ran.
Yeah, but when push come to shove, everything
Yeah,
gonna go
but no,
through
she in charge of it. She in charge of it. But if
like
you
that.
be like,
That's
nah,
one thing
no,
about being in a
he gotta
relationship.
go.
A woman is more in charge than what you think, especially if
No,
she's a
no,
real
Exactly.
woman.
she
Especially
is
if she's a real
definitely in
woman,
charge.
because she's
You the
controlling.
oversight. All
No,
you is oversight.
no, I'm saying she controls what you eat. A real woman gonna control what you eat.
No, she controls everything, but your oversight, bro.
No, she
Like,
control what you eat, bro. Like we
no,
being
like,
honest. A woman, your
all
woman
right,
gonna know
all
what you
right,
want to eat
all
when
right.
you hungry.
You say that, but if she started fixing you nothing but vegetables, and you be like, nah, I want some meat.
I did that. I went on a no meat diet for 2 weeks because my wife said like, hey, I'm 42. I smoke. I drink. So yeah,
All right,
when
so
a
you
real woman
want
looks out for you, she looks out for your health before your
nah, but
money.
Exactly. For
but at the
everything.
end of the day, them just suggestions. You can always be like, nah, I'm doing this, and
No,
they
because it wasn't suggesting because she brought up actual facts of family history. My father had a stroke. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
but
Like
you still
so.
could have said no.
No, I believed in her because I know she
Yeah,
wasn't
you
telling me nothing
believed in her,
wrong.
but you
Hey,
still could have been
why don't
like,
we ask some of the women on the panel what they think
because
about?
my man say he ain't trying to hear what they think. Nah, I'm just
Nah,
But
playing.
y'all,
I ain't gonna.
I was
I
gonna
ain't
say,
gonna.
I'm
Nah,
gonna say.
nah, I'm just
I mean,
playing.
I'm just
we
playing.
speaking on what females do and what they
They know
do
I
and
ain't
their
playing like that.
roles
Nah,
and all
nah,
of that. So
I'm just
I'm just saying.
joshing with y'all, bro.
Y'all can't pay me no mind. I'm gonna say
Nah,
some shit to ruffle your feathers,
I'm new
man.
to this whole panel, John, bro. Like I don't know nothing about none of that. I ain't even got no social media, bro. I ain't got no Facebook, Instagram, none
Like
of
I'm gonna
that,
say this
bro.
right
I'm
here.
trying
Like
to figure it out.
say I come in for my 12, 15 hour shift. I didn't call and be like, babe, I want this to eat. I'm coming in and
Yeah,
eating what she prepared. You feel me?
she preparing that because she know that you need something to eat, and she gonna prepare what you want
My wife
because
called
she
me and
trying
asked
to.
me what I want.
No. She prepared
No,
what she
she
know I
know
My
what
like.
you
wife
want,
called
and
me and
she
asked me
gonna
what I
try,
want.
and she gonna
What you
look
want to
out
eat
for it.
tonight, baby?
Like
No, she already know what you want. Like
watch
if y'all
this.
been together long enough, she know what you want.
Like
So
watch this.
she
Baby
gonna
know
be
I don't
like,
like baby
boom.
know I don't like spicy food. So
So you
she
ain't
cooked some
getting no
shrimp. She
spicy
cooked some
food.
shrimps and some broccoli that was spicy. Then she cooked me some baked chicken and corn with biscuits.
Yeah, that's what I'm
You see
saying.
what I'm
They gonna
saying?
cater to you. That's a good
But I
woman.
didn't ask for that, but she know what I like.
Yo,
You see what
you
I'm
need to
saying?
marry that girl.
I've been married to her since I was 19,
Oh, how long you been married?
23 years. You gonna hear this a
Dang,
lot, bro.
So,
You
I
gonna hear this a
salute
lot
so
from
you.
me.
I salute you,
I've
bro.
been married for like 10
I,
years, and I went to
I,
college with this chick, right?
nah,
So
I've been married since
she actually know
2010.
exactly what I want, right? But after 10, 15 years, it's a different type of catering to your husband. Just saying. You
I
know what
don't
I'm
know
saying?
about
Cause she
all
know,
that, bro.
nigga, she
Nah,
been with
bro.
me for 15 years. She know exactly what I like and shit like that. At this point,
I
she
was on
like,
this show
damn,
last night
maybe
and I
he want to
showed some
try
shit.
something
I
different.
mean,
What do you want?
excuse my language. I was on this show last night and I don't know if I proved something, but I opened up my camera, showed what it was a topic about your phones being open. Do you trust your partner with your code? I went right in the room. Right, am I lying, big dog? Went right in the room on the camera, opened up my camera, opened up my wife's phone up, and showed everybody on the panel.
You did.
You talking about we talking about big homie stuff. We ain't talking about man just you and being together. We talking
Oh,
about
nah,
what
it's
I
definitely,
deserve.
But you know,
you married, it's
but you know,
definitely
bro,
gonna be
everybody
a
ain't got
reason
that.
to not have your
Man,
woman.
I'm a man,
That's
bro.
a
I'm gonna take what I want.
you
No Diddy.
you a unicorn. That's a unicorn
No, I'm
because
not a
Nah,
everybody
he
ain't
not
got
unicorn.
a
I'm a
that.
man,
unicorn, bro.
bro.
Everybody,
He think just like me, bro.
I'm a man. I got a
Yeah,
daddy,
he
a
a real
father, a
end,
grandfather. Ain't no
a real
unicorn.
end, bro. He came from good stock.
You know what? Like if I wasn't married, possibly I would be the type of man that women want to cheat with. That makes sense right there, don't it?
I lived that
I'm
life.
about to add
I
Winnipeg
was the
just because he
one
said that.
women
But
cheated
no,
with
you ought to
before I
see
got
me,
married.
bro. They'll see me by myself and won't say nothing. Then see me with my woman, and then all of a sudden I'm sexy now. They made that. Like, they made the whole smile. He like, yeah, I know what you're talking about, big dog. I know, yo, your woman represent who you are, bro. And I got a pretty woman,
You from the D?
mm,
man. I'm from Dallas, Texas, boy, from the
Oh,
South.
my bad. You said D town. My
Nah,
bad.
yeah,
D.
Dallas, Texas, only one D town, Dallas,
Nah,
Texas.
that's probably Detroit. Yeah, but it's alright.
Like I feel you, bro. Like I'm just being honest, bro. Like
Definitely Detroit. It's
you have
alright.
to hide yourself sometime when you're a certain type of man. Like, bro, I won't go. I go without a shave. I go in the store, bro, with just normal, bro. Just to, and I ain't no Tay Diggs. I ain't no supermodel,
Yeah,
bro.
I swear to God, I do the same thing, bro.
But my woman to get jealous. So I'm like, I'm looking at all this. I'm like, say, little mama, you just seen me at Whataburger and you ain't say nothing, but you seen me at Waffle House with my woman late night. Now you causing her a problem. You like for
Nah,
real. That's how bad when but
my
women
girl
that
know I
cause a
ain't gonna
woman
do that.
another problem, bro, just because she let you go. She let you slide. She, oh, I could have had him. No, you couldn't have. Little mom, you playing. God, now you see me with one woman, you tripping. Like, bro, y'all women be tripping out here. Y'all a whole. I know a woman right now. She says she's gonna make every man pay for what the last man did to her, and she's really doing it right now,
Oh
running
no, that's women in real life, bro. That ain't just her.
running
That's
through them, bro.
every woman that you gonna interact with
And she's a
from
pretty
this
mother
point
with two
forward.
sons and a daughter, bro. And to see her sons witness their mama do
Oh
it,
yeah,
that
and they
hurt.
gonna come up and be
One of them in jail right now for
people.
ag robbery.
Yeah, they gonna be bad people too. Them little boys, yo, they ain't gonna have no real hope in life though, unless they find somebody to who wing they can get under, teach them and show them the ways of a real end.
It's a
Hey,
young lady just jumped in. Let's ask the young lady if she wanna speak to it. Hey, young lady, I am she Saint. She
Hi.
wife. How you doing?
Hi, everybody. So to the prompt, did experiencing a bad relationship turn you off? Um, my answer is yes. I'm not intrigued no longer for the thought of love relationship. Mm-mm.
So how bad was it? Was it something that was alone? How bad was it?
ooh, that hurt.
Um, it wasn't bad, like, domestically or anything like that. It was just I had two serious relationships, and both of them is like, it was just like a lot of trauma within the person. And no matter how much love you try to give them, it's nothing is good enough. So for me personally, there's people that try to talk to me all the time, but it's like I like to see it. Like, I like to see people in relationships, and I'm happy for them, but nothing about somebody coming and trying to talk to me intrigues me to give them the opportunity, or to give it an opportunity to date.
So you
Right.
giving up on love?
I I uh I don't want to say that, because I do believe like in God. So it's like I know that he loves love and relationship. And so I don't like to say like I'm giving up on it, because I'm still happy to see it. You know what I'm
But
saying?
you're
But
seeing it for somebody else. What about you?
yeah, but no, not for me right now. No.
That hurt my
Would,
heart,
would
man.
you would you, do you think you'll fall in love with somebody that's wealthy?
Uh, I don't. I've To be honest with you guys, I'm turned off.
You feel you feel undervalued and unappreciated, don't you? Like
Exactly. Yeah.
So
I
so so
feel it.
you
I feel
so
it.
you so you well
There's nothing that you
so
guys
you
can say. It's
no no
like
no
I know it sounds horrible. It
no
really
no
sounds
I'm saying
bad.
I'm saying you
Because
are more so.
my brother talks to me about it all the time, where even he's like, outside, the type of girls that is outside, that's not he knows that's not me. And he even tells me like, yo, you rare. But it's like he understands why too. Because
What turned you off so bad? What happened that was so bad to where you saying how you feel now? What happened?
I think because of how strong I know, like, I'm a very in tune person, and so it's like there might be a lot of options, but it's like I don't go with those options. So if I actually decided to go with an option, that means something to me. So for me, I know I love hard. I know I'm loyal. I know I'm all of those things. I know I'm a work in progress as well. Like, nobody is perfect, of course. And with every person that you're with, they bring out a different side of you that, you know, maybe wasn't with somebody else. So
It's
for
easy to
me,
trick you. It's very
for,
easy to trick you because you love hard. And if I
ex-
look a certain way and I got the paper, I could finesse you and then use you, and that's wrong. That's
you
wrong.
can't,
Nah,
the
nah, I
thing is
think
that you
she
can
an
finesse
anomaly.
me.
I
You
No, I'm
can
think
saying,
she an
finesse me.
anomaly,
no, no,
bro.
I worded it wrong. I'm saying like if you were interested in me hypothetically.
You was
Nah, I
trying
think
you
she
was
an
giving us a
anomaly,
little
bro.
she was giving
Because the
us a
way
little insight.
I
We
guess
gotta
the
let
way
her
you
give us
know
a
she
little
was
more
just
insight
talking
than she
about.
was giving you.
It's like love bombing. Like when women say that phrase love bomb,
Nah, I don't think she like the other women in your life.
Yeah, she different,
The
bro.
way that
I can
she
hear it in
come,
her
the
voice.
way
I
that
heard
she
it.
come
Go
in
ahead.
with
We
a
got
logical
we gotta
perspective
listen
on
to her a
things.
little more.
I don't think that
Give us
she's
some
really.
insight.
All right, go ahead, love.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear because it was like three of you guys talking at the same time, so I didn't hear what you were saying, Stoner or
No,
D.
I was saying, like, I don't like we've been talking about like women in general, but I'm saying I don't think that you should be categorized in the same like you shouldn't be in the same category as the other women that we talking about because you coming in at a logical perspective on things, and it sounds like you have a background that teaches you to look for the things that matter instead of the things that really don't matter, like money and all the other stuff that you can gain from a person
Yeah,
instead of
like
being
I
uh, like you sound like you. It sound like you would sign a prenup if you love somebody.
oh yeah, like I don't mind doing that. I don't
Yeah,
mind doing that. I
yeah,
do not
nah,
mind
the
doing that.
baby.
To be honest with you guys, that's one of the reasons too why, because I was literally just talking to my brother. And the thing is that, like, growing up, I was raised hard. Like, I was raised around my brothers, my uncles, and these are people that some of them are still in long-term relationships right now. Though, like, the relationship may not have been perfect, some of them are toxic, and but they still going. Like, I've got a chance to like see so many different types of relationships like growing up. And so for me personally, it's like I know that like if I have options, it doesn't mean for me to go ahead and conduct and whatever with all those options. So I'm somebody that go off of like like tune and tune. I'm very like that. So I was talking to my brother, and the thing is that I do have a lot of like traits of like having an ego and those things, but I don't want to play the game of love or relationship. That's what it is right now. Like I'm just not with it. And I think that's why it's like I give my all, and I have been that girl to like, you know, try to work it out and doing that and being the one that's trying to communicate and so forth and so forth. But it's only so much that you can endure.
I got
And
a question
so
for you too.
I don't like when my I don't have nothing more to give. Like I feel like people come and take off of like I'm resourceful to them. Like with everything like
Yeah,
energy wise, ideas, things like that. So it's like I need somebody that
You
can
need a
fuel.
hug, man. You need a
Yeah.
hug.
no, it sounds like to me. I hate to tell me if
It's
I'm
not
wrong on
technically a
what I'm
hug because
thinking.
I get that. Like my brother just bought me flowers. Like I get love. You know what I'm saying?
T-
Like I have a group of men around me where it's like it's not it's like I know it might sound sad or any everything like that, but my two serious relationships, like I took that to the core. So for me, I'm just turned off. Like I'm not
Do
You
you
by
feel?
But if
Yeah, I was gonna
Hold on,
ask,
love.
how old is she? Hold on, let's she spoke. Let's let start from thriving and let people. If you feel like interacting and maybe get some insight from different aspects, we'll let Thrive and speak, and then after that, the rest of the guys could go. Go ahead, Miss Thrive.
Hey, beautiful young lady. How old are you?
I really don't like to say my age on social media.
Okay, can you give me a range? Are you between age 20 and 25?
I'll give you that range
Okay.
between. Mhm.
Yeah, you are young, sweetheart. I think you have some time to find the right person. I think there's a right person out there for you. You just have to, you say you have brothers, right? Is your dad still in the picture? Is your father in the picture for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you just use the men in your family to vet for you, first and foremost, before you get your emotions in too deep. Because you know,
Honestly,
men know men.
Yo, that's the best thing. That's the best advice you can take from anybody on on this panel tonight. Make
It's.
sure
Do you
you
feel
get
like
your.
you've taken on? Do you feel like you've taken on project men? You know, men that because it sounds like some of those the I guess the serious relationships you've been in, you seem like from what I'm sensing is they were project.
Nah, she said it was only two,
You know,
so she
not
just got into it just
not
off the
really
fact that
She
she
on the
loved for
level.
real.
Yeah, but
She loved them for real, and they were still
yeah.
maturing into men.
not on the level that she was on.
You know,
Right,
ladies mature
No,
faster
no,
than
they
right.
boys.
That
grew apart. They
projects.
grew apart basically from my what I assume, yo. I don't know. Let her answer though.
I'm finna go hug my wife, man,
Cause
cause
it's
that
like,
hurt.
yeah, yeah. I think, um, I don't know you guys, but I do appreciate that thriving. I really do. I think, cause like the relationships that I had with those two guys is not like I said, there's nothing where it was like bad to the point of like
So
um
what put you here? What mistakes? What
physically,
type?
but it just was draining where it's like my cup wasn't getting filled, and it was a constant like push and pull that I didn't like, because when I pour all. So
Like a
And
And
what
she,
makes
she
those
that you're at a
relationships
certain
happen?
level and they're not getting to that level. It's kind
yeah,
of like a
yeah,
project.
yeah, she felt like she really deserved better. Like they
yeah,
wasn't giving them they wasn't giving the same effort in the relationship that she was giving.
Did you
And they
learn
grew
anything from
apart.
those relationships?
oh, absolutely, absolutely.
So they added value to your life in a way?
Yeah, they did.
I would say so, in a sense of appreciation type of way, but as far as like, because I feel like I don't want you guys to judge me or anything like that, but I don't really believe in the whole concept of like therapist type of thing, where it's like I could go to a counselor, but a therapist type of thing, I find like I want to dig in deep to myself and see certain things. So it's like
So
when I was with in my relationships, it's like, yeah, I do feel like certain things, how they were, both of them were different, of course, but it's like certain things I took from it, like, okay, I could work better on this. I can, do that. But my core person of who I am, like in the core, my characteristics, my morals, my values, those things are things that I have had in me since young. And so
Mm.
for me personally, I haven't felt like I have that match, and
There's no
I'm just like
negotiation
turned
with it.
off to the point where it's like there's potentials right now, but I'm just turned
Mm.
off. Like I'm not
You
interested.
getting
And nothing interests me about me giving my effort, my time, nothing at all.
yeah, you nervous to see what it can lead up to because you don't have the faith that it's gonna like that they coming at it in good
Y'all
faith.
know who she remind me of? Y'all remember Janet Jackson, our poetic justice, how she was when she was doing Tupac? Then she finally let her guard down. That's the vibe she give me, bro.
But not yo. I got a question. Yo, what's the difference between a counselor and a therapist?
One lie and one tell more lies.
Ain't no,
Nah. Look, listen. My ex, she a therapist and she is like a substance abuse counselor and shit too.
ain't
Right.
ain't ain't no difference. You can get advice from anybody.
Yeah, I can be a therapist if I wanted to. Not.
Can I
They
ask a
don't do nothing but
question?
give
Can I
advice.
ask a question, Miss? And then like, cause I have daughters, and I'm pretty sure like she's in the age range of my oldest daughter. So for you to be at basically, the prime of your life, at the youth of your life, and to have these feelings as you do you feel that the possibilities, not just for love, but to just having someone that will be there for you no matter what, do you think that's possible? Do you believe that's possible?
Slipping away. Do you think it's slipping away?
Because she seemed like she ready to go on the hunt and just start like You know, just dealing with them, but not going too far. And
Nah,
that's a.
nah. It's saying like she just being very cautious on who she lets in.
But she can hurt somebody too, though. It could be when they
Nah,
really love her and she hurt him.
I mean, nah, she can miss out on a blessing, but she still being conscious. But she not being conscious in the way that these other women is, trying to use people and see. Or she being conscious on another level, like, nah, I'm not even gonna put myself out there unless I know this man is worthy.
Let me say
Like,
something. I want to say something to the young lady. So the fact that you didn't come here aggressive at all, you didn't come in here disrespectful at all. You came in here very well spoken. Just put your
mm,
perspective out. I'm gonna let you know that it appears that your emotions are very valid. Okay. Levels of sadness and confusion and different things of that nature are feelings that's valid. You don't. It appears that you don't have to rush. Your healing process or necessarily explain exactly your pain and things of that nature. You got to give yourself time to cry, feel, heal, reflect, and grow. So just your attitude and your disposition alone shows that you will be somebody that's good to someone else, and somebody is out there that's good for you because your energy is really a representation of who you are. And I respect you because you came in here very, very respectful, balanced, and well spoken, young lady. So I just think it's okay sometimes to fall back and allow yourself certain things that you may feel is just find exactly who you are, So it's not about blaming or nobody judging, but just your disposition alone, you represent yourself pretty well. And
Now,
our guys are doing a piss poor job of now let me
now, but see,
nah, I agree
at
a
the, at
hundred
the,
no,
at the
I,
percent,
same.
yo.
I don't want to
That's a
go in on the
Now,
righteous
guys
now,
because
hold
period.
on
They
now,
everybody in
got
the
but
her
room felt
morals and
your
shit.
energy.
but
So
it, but,
I
but
just
we keeping it real with her because at the same time when she learning herself, she gon' get hurt just like all of us have.
well,
It's a process.
it looked like she might experience that, and I don't want to reinforce that
Yeah,
narrative.
for
It's
real.
just the way she came in here was very, you don't get that a lot
I'm gonna give her some
from
real
different women.
I
props.
agree a hundred
Watch this. I'm
percent,
gonna give
bro.
her
She
some real
usually
props.
she grew up
Stoner.
with it, so I really appreciate you, young lady, for coming
Sto-
in, sharing.
Stoner, you said something earlier about a lady, and when she enters a room, how the characteristics and temperament change of men. You see how we all changed when she started speaking?
Exactly, bro. That's my point exactly, bro. That's my whole point to the core, bro. Like, if you present yourself in a respectable manner, every man mood is gonna change, and they gonna present themselves to you in an equal form, yo.
We all bowed down to a certain extent, bro.
Exactly, bro. My point exactly, bro. I'm glad you saw that, bro. Yo, shout out to you, man.
If Christina and Anjanita would like to say something to the young lady, that I think that Miss She, you still there? I am. I can't read your whole name, so
Oh, is I am Shay Saint, but
okay.
um,
You
I
sound like
actually
a saint. You fly? You got wings? You fly? But if Miss Riley, you want to speak to the young lady,
I
and
understand.
Angelina,
After
go ahead, go ahead. I'd like the three ladies to speak to her real quick.
I understand where she's coming from. I really do. I'm older than you. I'm 30. Well, I'll be 36 tomorrow. Well, now that's my birthday. But
Happy birthday.
birthday.
thank you, thank you. I feel.
happy birthday now.
Thank you. I
You
feel where you're coming from.
Gemini.
I
Gemini. Hey,
am.
Gemini.
Hold on. I
All
want to
right,
ask
go
the
ahead
young
and
lady.
land the plane.
I want to
I
ask the young
feel.
lady a question. She just did you put that in the comments, young lady?
Who, me?
Yeah. What you say down there?
No, I was actually agreeing when you had said to cry and let it out. I was just being honest. Like I'm I'm emotional. Like I cry sometimes. I talk about
She
my
heard me. I gotta get off, bro. I gotta go get in the bed. I gotta hug my woman, bro. I love y'all, and I'll see y'all later, man.
D-Town,
All right,
bust
bro.
a quick little note
Appreciate
for us
you,
before you
man.
go. 2 seconds, D-Town. Go ahead.
Man, live life and laugh, and I always remember the past never lasts.
I meant sing, man.
Oh.
Love it.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
just messing with
Love
you,
oh,
it.
big
oh,
time. I'm
I'm
just
finna
messing
say
with
I was gonna hit a him real quick,
you. I was just messing with you, man.
but
I
I'm
was just
finna get
messing
up
with
out of here, man. She made me want to go hug my woman, man.
you.
Hey,
That's
hey,
cool,
good
bro.
night, and
Appreciate
say
you,
hello
man.
to your
You're
See
a
lady.
you next
real
time,
G,
bro.
man.
All right.
Say hello to your lady. We're liking her already.
Oh, she
Yo,
right
you're
here.
a real G, bro. Real respectable man. Yo, we extinct in this world now.
But what I wanted to say to her is, I'm 36. I understand where you're coming from. Um, a bad relationship does put a bad taste in your mouth. But what I noticed was, like I said, I was married 18 to 30, divorced at 31. Um, I didn't allow that bad experience to control me. And I feel like when we let something bad make us form a different opinion about our lives, we gave that control over us. And I feel like sometimes even with that, we can miss out on things because we're holding on to that. I really pray and I hope that things change out here in this world. I really do, because I really would love to see someone appreciate you, because you deserve it. You really do deserve it. Um, but I just from earlier, I just seeing things and how people are just they're thinking and what they're doing and stuff like that. It's hard to even tell if it's even going to get any better. But I wish that you would get that person. I really want you to have that person. I really do, because you deserve it. That's all I gotta say.
And yo, to
What
put
I'll
it in
say
comparison,
is,
oh, but like yo, to put it in comparison, yo, like I'm a chef, yo, and like so I cook for a living, and I done burnt my hand a couple times, though. Do that mean I'm gonna stop cooking? No, I'm gonna still do what I need to do to try and be the best that I can and make everything the way that it's supposed to be. Like, and so just because you get burnt a few times, that don't mean you need to stop doing, like looking for the perfect recipe to live your perfect life.
Go ahead, Miss Angelita, for you.
I am Shay. Thank you so much for coming and just being vulnerable enough to open up about it. I went through a very, very, very traumatic um relationship and experience, and I would say don't close out therapy, because therapy really, really has helped me significantly. Not only being able to move forward in my life, but I was able to identify some things within myself as to the reason that I chose who I chose. And it allowed me to be able to target differently. And so now my experiences with men are significantly different. So definitely don't give up on love, because it is still out here. It's still out here, and it's still somebody that's out there for you, definitely. But also don't um, don't negate the therapeutic part of the process, because therapy really, really did help me a lot.
I think her phone might have went out. Oh, she back. You back?
Thank you guys.
Your phone went out for a minute.
I don't know if you guys can hear me.
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay. I do want to say thank you for all of the advice. But like I said, you guys, I'm very skeptical. I'm very skeptical.
Okay.
I'm just turned off, honestly. I'm not. Nothing excites me about it right
It's
now.
it's it's always okay to reconnect with who you are outside of a relationship. You can rediscover your hobbies, spend time with people who uplift you.
Yeah.
Treat yourself a certain type of way. And healing isn't a linear thing, right? And that's perfectly normal. That's fine. It's okay for you to take time for self and just okay. it's okay for you to, you know, see what you feel that you comfortable with, and that's cool.
Yeah, your feelings are valid, yo. Like, you might just need to work on yourself until God say that it's the right time and send you the man that you deserve, yo. Like, and the man you deserve might be still working on himself as well. You don't never know.
You just transparent, very, very calm and with a good energy. So, you know, this is why the room is just, you know, taken aback by you and interacting with you. Everybody on the panel has interacted with you. I'm sorry. How you doing, Miss Independent? I see you. Welcome to the room. Just want to speak to you.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for the invite.
Yeah, yeah. How you doing today? You want to speak?
Yes, in regards to the prompt,
Okay.
basically just to reiterate over what the young lady just said about therapy, the healing process, which I think is very important, just for any woman in particular, whether it's a relationship or not, you know, because it is also, you know, something that just helps us get through life, being that life didn't give us a manual. So I would definitely say, in regards to, did experiencing a bad relationship turn you off or push you to self improvement? You should already be in an improvement mindset, even before the breakup per se, right? This is just my theory on it. And I've always been told that, according to my dad, this is how you differentiate a boy from a man. Understanding that the word boy means burden on you. So if that man is a burden on you, he's a boy. And how do you know he's a man if he's meeting all your needs? And that really kind of simplified how I viewed men type relationships. Was he a boy or was he a man? So I act accordingly. And I always kept my improvement within self at the front and center, because I was raised that my happiness is not validated by a man. He's supposed to add to me, but I must be a woman who's full. Now, if I'm speaking from an empty cup, when it comes to the improvement part, you know, you can't expect a full man if you're a half empty woman. So at what point are you working on yourself prior to understanding that some relationships, and not all relationships, are actually meant to last forever? Some are just experiences. I'll land my plane.
That was some good advice. Yeah, we do need the therapy. But I feel like I think BLK people need more. I don't think textbook therapy works for us. I think we need something a little deeper. Cause the things we go through is deeper. It's like it just seems almost like, I don't know, like it's dark. The things we go through, it seems almost dark.
Agree.
We need Jesus.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
You know,
Spiritual therapy, yeah.
Jesus will give you a sense of morality and it'll give you accountability. And with both of those things, then it wouldn't be no excuses for anything that happens to you.
I totally agree. That's like saying no, you know, premarital sex, right? And
Man, that's free. That's what they call it. What they call it, the women's rights.
I want to give a salute to the host, one of the hosts. Her name is Christina Rowley. Today is her birthday, everybody. So we got to give it up for Christina. Happy birthday, Christina.
hey, Christina.
Thank you.
We do we have singers tonight? We
Thank
need singers
you.
tonight. Somebody get Angela in here and
That's
Ron. This is
awesome.
when we need them the most.
Yeah.
Gemini season.
I was thinking.
Where is
No,
the
a lot of good
pasta?
Geminis, actually. My son is one of them. His birthday is on the 5th, actually. He turns 21.
Hey man, I don't know
Happy
nothing
birthday,
about
young man.
astrology, yo. I don't even believe in
Absolutely.
astrology.
That's my one and done. It's over.
Like yo, if I made up something about an astrology sign right now, yo, it just said if you have great aspirations and you are a loving person and you want to see all your people succeed and like could that apply to any astrology sign like or is astrology real?
I honestly don't go off of well, okay, don't get me wrong. I feel like people use astrology, like the zodiac signs, as a way
Yeah,
to excuse certain behaviors.
I mean people use anything as an excuse. I was on social media and I seen some stuff where this chick told this man that she cheated because she was ovulating. Like you can use anything.
Wow.
What?
And she said that he was ovulating and he was at work. Like, and you can use anything as an excuse to do whatever. Like, is it real?
I'd have took it if you would have said she cheated because she was drinking that bumpy face, but this dude said because she was
It
doggone
don't,
ovulating.
bro. It don't matter. She could have said it. I cheated because the sky was blue. Like you can say anything. Like you can blame whatever you want to on what you did, yo. That's not taking accountability. That's just what I just. That's exactly what I just said, yo. And that's why people need Jesus. They don't take accountability and they ain't got no morality.
Yo, can I ask you where you from, bro?
And you said what?
Where you from, bro?
Yeah, I'm from North Carolina.
Oh, okay. I'm just wondering, bro. 'Cause I don't know, you sound like you're
Louisiana.
from Atlanta, Louisiana.
Nah, I'm country, but I ain't. I'm from North Carolina though.
Facts.
But my voice is just like I've been taught. I sound like this for
Yeah,
some
you're
reason.
stuttering. Are you a nigger?
What?
Whoa,
Oh,
get him off
what
of
the
there.
heck?
Yeah, that's the troll. Get them off. Yeah,
What the heck?
yeah, yeah. That happens.
The
That happens.
Helly?
Nah,
You're
I thought
black
it, I thought he
him.
came. I thought he
Block it.
came up here in good faith. I was about to
Did
answer his
somebody get him
questions
off?
No,
and
yeah,
I
everything.
he's
got
off.
him. I got him off.
Okay. All right.
I was about to say yeah. Nah, nah, I'm just playing, yo. Nah, I mean, I don't know nothing
He's
about.
blocked, so he doesn't report you live.
No, I blocked him.
Whew.
I mean, we need to report him.
I got him. I got him. He good.
Yeah, they do that in a lot of places. They
We've
just
been doing we've been doing pretty good. I think that's our second one out of like 10 lives. So
Mhm.
every once in a
Wow.
while, the trolls don't troll.
Oh, so I forgot what I was even talking about though. They threw my whole train of thought off.
Man, we've been doing pretty good on the stage, man. Everybody trying to be encouraging and stuff like that. The young lady came with a different energy tonight because we be lit over. We be
We
lit.
sure do be lit. But I'm gonna
Everybody
say,
trying to be respectful.
Yeah, she came with the chill and the balance, so we be lit.
but I'm gonna
Yeah,
tell
I'm
you
trying to
something.
stir the
Slay,
pot
they was
though.
talking about us in another group chat. They was talking about a few, the few of us that's always on here, like Angelita and all of us that always on here. They be like, y'all gotta go over there. This dude named the bigger play. Y'all gotta go over there. I'm just sitting in the thing laughing, right? I'm like, so they be lit over there.
Yeah, we
So
be lit.
it's grown folks talk. It's after dark talk. I'm like,
It's cool,
Shoot, I hop on where it's at, yo. Send me the link. I'll jump on.
we be having pushback, and we have things where everybody don't disagree, but you always able to get past that and just build from that. So
But nah, I like stirring the pot though. Even if I agree with you, I come with a
yeah, we
different
do. That's
perspective.
cool because you can challenge people in their position, and they be
Yeah, I'm gonna make them
they be
stand
in
on
their
it, yo, just
position.
to see if they really standing on it or if it's just something they heard.
Well, brace yourselves. I just changed my live status, my live settings that to show people where I'm at. So there they come.
Uh-oh.
But
I
brace
saw you.
yourselves.
It's only one
Did you
slide
go
open.
live
They
today
better come
driving?
quick.
I did go live yesterday. I went live
Okay,
yesterday. Yeah.
I like the next time you go. I don't know the time and be a little different, but I like to come in there and join you the next time.
Yeah.
I like to see what
Yeah, if I ain't at work, I'll hop
see
on
where
with you
you
too.
had when
Yeah,
I had missed.
just follow me back so that way I'm able to invite you.
Oh,
Otherwise,
get
I'm
that
not.
off.
Yeah, I think I just
Oh, come
followed
on.
you. Yo, drop Shayla. Yeah, drop that one.
They
Yeah, drop
they
that
cutting
chick,
up
yo.
tonight.
Block her so she gotta laugh
Go
at.
ahead.
I
I got
swear.
her. I got her.
Yo, I
No,
think I think
play.
they
You
put
did
your
enjoy
link in the
that
group
one.
chat.
Instead of laughing, you did enjoy that one. I saw that.
Nah, I think they put your link in the group chat.
Yeah, they did something. They tried to get us, man. Well,
Yo,
she got
you
on
not
there.
letting that one ride though.
It's usually the funny part about it is people usually have no followers and they have like a emoji or something that's crazy, so you know not to bring them up. Now they throw a picture up there, be the screenshot it, and they might have a couple followers. So,
Yo, why you bring me up? I ain't got no followers, do I? I
uh,
just started. I
I
just
think
started doing this like 2 days ago.
usually you can just I don't know if you would comment. I don't know. And it was early, so every once in a while you just get the vibe where you just try to bring people in. Sometimes
But yeah, I'm coming in good faith though,
yeah,
bro.
sometimes you're gonna get
I
the
ain't trying to
trolls,
do
but
nothing.
it's an open platform, so it can happen.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. I troll sometime though.
Everybody doing
But
and you know that too.
I ain't trolling like that, like
I
being
know.
disrespectful or
Right.
nothing. I might troll as in disagreeing with something that I clearly agree with or something, but nah, I ain't about to troll like that.
Yeah, she cut up. She jumped
They
right.
don't put it in the group chat. That's what done happen.
Yeah, they put them in the group chat and everybody like, yeah, we gonna bomb him. And as soon as he kicked me, you go on. Nah.
Hey, Miss Independent, you still there? You can go in a little deep if you want to. D
Yo,
Will.
go
I'm
on.
just rinsing off my makeup. Can I get 1 second?
Oh, okay. Nah, you okay. I was just, just checking on you, making sure everything was cool.
Hey,
Birthday
yo,
girl, what's
D
up,
Will,
birthday
you
girl? What
still
you
with
eat?
us?
What's your birthday meal for the later?
For me?
Yeah, you the birthday girl. What you eat later?
Well, first off, it's 1 o'clock in the morning.
Nah.
So
I
I
know.
ain't finna eat nothing now.
Birthday. What time the birthday starting? 10 or
You
11
supposed to be,
a.m.
you
or
supposed to
10
be,
or
you
11 at
supposed to
night.
be. You gotta eat to put something on the liquor.
Hey,
No,
host.
I only had 2 shots with my brother.
Well, you
I had
still
just a
got, you need a
little bit
bag
of
of
wine.
chips or something.
Hey,
Somebody
host.
gave me some wine. Somebody gave me some wine the other day, and they handmade it, right? And I had an interaction on live with y'all, and y'all didn't even know it.
Oh no, you was chilling.
No,
No,
you ain't know it. They knew
you
it.
No,
wasn't
I'm
drunk.
They
You
was
telling
wasn't
on the
y'all, when I
live.
got
They
off with
knew it.
y'all,
You ain't know it because you was drunk.
Bo, I was, but y'all,
Nah,
when I got off the
nah.
live, yeah, I was jacked up. I don't never get like that.
I ain't even peeping. You was in there chilling. I ain't see that.
I
And you
ain't
stayed
never
on
got
there for
like
a
that
while.
before. I ain't
But
never got like that before.
but
Y'all
you
know
was
I'm pretty
sipping that
versatile.
wine. Oh, you already had your
No,
birthday, huh? You
man, I was messed up. Let me tell you something. I don't ever get like that. If I mean, I'm home, I'll drink or whatever, but somebody handmade this, and this is South Carolina down here, so
Uh-oh.
that I don't know what
she
but
say
she
this
had tomatoes
Oh,
in
what
it.
part of South Carolina you?
South Carolina.
I live in Aiken, South Carolina.
Oh,
So,
Aiken. I used to
mhm.
live in Lancaster.
Oh, okay.
Now
But
I'm in
yeah,
Charlotte now, though.
oh, that ain't far. That's like 2 hours. But
Yeah.
play that lady had tomatoes in it, and I have an alert allergy to tomatoes.
Wow. But you
So
didn't
when
know
y'all
that.
was
You
on the
didn't know
live
that.
and I started at the end, I started stuttering. I couldn't get my words out. I said, wait a minute, something's wrong. And so when I got off, my throat was closing up and everything. I'm glad I'm a nurse because I knew what to do and give myself whatever I needed to give myself to get back together. But yes,
Hold on. Who makes liquor out of tomatoes?
you can make tomato wine. You never had that before?
Hell no. I ain't never
Oh,
know
it's
that
really
was a
sweet. It's
thing.
really sweet. It's really sweet. It's really good. It'll
I
mess you
done
up.
made spaghetti sauce out of tomatoes, but never wine or nothing.
Yeah, it's good. It's really good. But I didn't taste it. What I tasted was the black cherries. I didn't taste the tomato in it.
Or the
So that's
tomato
what
wasn't
my
nothing but a byproduct then, yo.
yeah, that thing messed me up. I had a
Like
Go ahead,
ain't no real reason to put tomatoes in wine anyway because they not a real like it ain't a real sugar content in it.
I block stamps. Hold on. Hold on. Let's see what he's talking about. This topic.
You get some muscadines and make some good wine
Yeah,
with it.
muscadines will make some good wine, yo. My granddad be making the muscadine wine, yo. He go down there to where he be going to somewhere in South Carolina. Like
Yeah. I got them growing. I got them growing in my backyard. They just back there wild back there. They
Oh,
come in.
muscadine?
Yeah.
yeah,
Ooh-wee. Need to come
muscadines
up.
is wild out. They
Need
heavy in South Carolina.
need to come up
Mm-hmm.
there and doggone get that, bring it on back to Louisiana, make some chime with that.
Mm-hmm.
You can make they making it. They make it here. All you gotta do is come up here and buy the shine. You ain't even gotta get the muscadine. You can just skip the
I'm
process.
not a drinker. I'm not a drinker, y'all. I'm a wine sipper, but I am not a drinker. I'm
I'm
not.
a grass
I don't
smoker.
I don't do that either. Mm-mm.
Nah, that's what I do.
So I want to hear what this I block Simpsons. Last time he was on here, he said some good stuff. So I want to hear what he got to say about the topic we got going on.
He said some good stuff or some wild stuff, yo. I
He
want to hear
wild.
something
He
wild.
wild.
I
Yeah.
want to hear something wild, yo. I'll
Let him
block,
talk. Let
yo.
him
Go
talk.
ahead and tickle my fancy.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? I appreciate your host from bringing me up. Respect.
Yo, you were supposed to dispute
Let him
that, yo.
talk,
I'm a
man.
man. A man shouldn't tickle your fancy. Nah, let me stop messing with you, yo. I'm joking, yo. I've been sipping too, yo. I'm joking, yo. Go ahead and speak your piece, man. I'm gonna mute up, yo.
I said, uh, appreciate you having me up, hosting. Good morning to all the panelists. Uh, late night, wherever you at. So, yeah, it says, did experiencing a bad relationship, uh, what turn you off
Yeah, yeah.
or push you to help, to self improvement? Um, it turned me off from, uh, people that I shouldn't be around. I mean, as far as dating is concerned, I learned the epitome of what Proverbs chapter 5 and chapter 7 says for men to not associate themselves with 304s, and it tells you that specifically that your life will suffer greatly from engaging with such women and marrying them and having children with them. You're gonna have it tells you to run from them.
It tell you to live your life off of accountability.
I'm gonna just shut up, bro.
Nah, but
Wait, wait,
nah,
hold on,
yo,
Block. Why you
nah,
Let him
why you
finish. Let him
I'm
finish.
about
Let
to
him
bail
finish.
out,
Let him
yo.
finish.
Nah, I'm about to bail out, yo. I'm coming to speak my piece, yo. Y'all have a good night, yo. I enjoyed talking to y'all. And be blessed, yo.
You sleep good.
I'm gonna
Night.
holler at y'all, yo. I see y'all on here again, yo. I'm going up, yo. But
okay.
be
Appreciate
blessed,
you,
yo.
brother. Tap back in with us, man. Appreciate you. Love that.
All right, bro.
All right. Go ahead, Block.
Yeah, so um a lot of back then the only Kevin Samuels we had back then was the Bible, but it wasn't really being projected in the pulpit like that for men to value themselves. All of our life we've been pretty much coached and pushed to be simps. And with the Steve Urkel shows and all these shows just showing men groveling towards women and letting women walk all over them, and you're not a good man unless you just do all this and bow down and get on one knee for all this, and these are for women that's being passed around. And so now there's more awareness in the community started with. I'm gonna give Tommy Sotomayor his props because before Kevin Samuels, there was Tommy Sotomayor. So we're not giving credit where credit is due. He's the one that actually started the talk, right? The what you see today. He actually started it. And, he was real brash with it, and I think Kevin Samuels brought a more professional approach, a more classy approach
uh, to the culture and speaking against it and warning men about the dangers of messing with women who are not trying to be feminine, women who are trying to, get the bag instead of loving a man genuinely. And so me having suffered a little bit early on in my life, it helped me to pay attention to what really the Bible is trying to teach me. And sometimes stuff don't jump out at you until you go through it. Now you understand what these scriptures trying to tell you. It said, drink water from your own cistern and don't let your water run out in the streets. And man, that I couldn't fully understand what that meant until I went through something. I land right there.
Good information, brother. Yeah, yeah.
So
Go
if they
ahead.
know that they're not supposed to lay with, if they know they're not supposed to lay with those type of women, why do they mess up with good women and go lay with them anyway? Because y'all can have the best woman on your side, the woman that's doing everything possible, and y'all will still go do that.
Is there some of them women that you're calling good women and do everything? They the ones that did it to us. They the ones that, you know, that play like they wouldn't be in the 304, only to learn that they were being a 304, And so, girl, I was 20 years old, and the person that I got with, I didn't know she had several ABs. I didn't know she had several baby deletions. I didn't know. And we men who grew up uh, in a religious environment where our parents try to bring us up the quote right way. Um, you get out here and you try to find a woman attractive enough that someone has a good reputation, but if you're not being coached as a young man how to vet a woman, and you don't have a daddy there, or in my case, I had a grandfather, but man, my grandfather grew up in the 20s, 30s, and 40s. He didn't know nothing about this culture. All he knew was working, bringing the bread home, and make sure the family's fed and taken care of. So that was my example. So I tried to go in and be like that, and I got a woman that totally didn't appreciate that. So I learned my lesson, and so I
But
had.
that's not a good woman. That's not a good woman.
Okay, the
That's
thing
not what I'm
is,
talking about.
what I'm trying to tell you is that we young men back in the 90s, that was a transition going on. We're on the tail end of good upstanding women. We're the aftermath of the destruction of the black family through welfare and the state being involved. And now we're getting into this heavy single motherhood. That's where the bulk of teen pregnancy was, right there in the 90s. And so now we're on the front end of this, and now we're dealing with the children of it now. And so all of this is not like it's been around. We didn't have the awareness back then that we have today. It wasn't there. The only thing we had was Proverbs. That's it. We ain't had no men trying to speak up for men. So we just kind of going out there. If you didn't have a daddy that was on his game and knew the game and knew the streets and knew how women were and how to avoid the pitfalls, a lot of this alimony and child support, all of this stuff was just snowballing. It just started in the 70s. Now the Clintons made it where they could send a man to jail over this stuff. And in every state, they have laws that say you're not supposed to arrest nobody on no civil debt. Child support is a civil debt, and they steady doing it, right? But the thing is, all this is new. We didn't know none of this stuff. We didn't know how to deal with it. Now we know because we've been dealing with it for the last 40 years. But the wisdom is only going to come mostly with experience. And so, I mean, some people are lucky enough to avoid it and to like I said, to avoid it and not run into it. A lot of us were so lucky, and we got our asses handed to us, and then afterwards we learn how to go forward. But it comes with experience a lot of time.
Do you feel like I grew up in that, came in the beginning of the Freaknik days too, in the 90s, and how things change. And I was raised by grandma and grandpa, and around a lot of uncles that were, in the streets, or doing other stuff. They was married, but they were still in the streets. Do you think that we were inadvertently taught the other side of the game? Because sometimes we can be inadvertently taught the other side of the game, and that goes for women too. Or that goes that somebody had a daddy for a woman that was, and the daddy was slick. So guess what? And I've asked this of men lately. I said, what's going to happen if your daughter
Go.
grows up to meet a man just like you? Well, my daughter don't see me do nothing wrong. There you go. She don't see you do anything wrong, but you being slick on the other side. So she's learning that slick side, or he's learning that slick side. So do you think we inadvertently learned some bad behaviors?
Well, of course, the angle I'm coming from is that just to wrap this all up in a short thought, is that people in general, men and boys, were being taught how to treat women. We're being everything was just geared towards the woman. You treat her good, you treat her nice, you take her out, and you do this. But nobody was telling girls and young women how to treat men and husbands. Nobody. There was no lesson. There was no coaching. And I'll put my check up against it that y'all wouldn't, behind closed doors with your mama, and your mama telling y'all this is how you treat a man. You don't treat a man this way, you ain't gonna keep him, whatever. Majority of situations in our community, they're not coaching the girls how to treat men, but they're always coaching the boys how to treat women.
But again, maybe you're missing it. Maybe you're missing my question. My question is, do you think that we were inadvertently taught the opposite side of that, how to be slick on the other side, doing
Absolutely.
things the slick way?
I
Do you
absolutely.
do you think that the women were being cultivated to by their, not inadvertently, so to say, not know the daddies? Like I said, I asked men, what's going to happen if they grow up, if their daughter grows up and they meet somebody just like you, being slick? And that's my question. And are we a product of that slick side right now? Or these women, or a lot of women, a product of that slick side of the other parent? That's the question.
Well, I think in our community, that probably was prevalent. That wasn't my experience. I wasn't coached to be that way. Never seen that type of behavior around most of the people I grew up around. Like I said, I grew up in a religious environment. I went to church every Sunday, Wednesday. So I mean, I didn't grow up, with street and drinking and smoking weed. I didn't grow up. I never smoked weed in my life. I've never did a drug ever in my life. Which, not that I believe we. I'm sorry. Let me. Smugs, right? Sorry about that.
I got you.
I don't think tree is smugs. Let me say it that way. Um, but and outside of that, I've never did any illegal smugs at all.
So so
I
so
don't
you
even know
were
what
you
they
were
like.
you were you were a PK, you were a preacher's kid, right?
No, I'm not one of the preacher's kid. No.
Okay, all right. I don't want to, I'm just trying to get an understanding of where you come. But here the thing is, when it's not something that, we wanted. But I mean, and even in our community, how many people have had a man die, and a outside child shows up at the funeral?
Say unalive, bro.
I could. Oh, my bad. Unalived, and an outside child shows up at the funeral. That's happened many times in my family over the past 10, 15 years. So that there was that slick side that we were inadvertently taught as men. I'll be the first to raise my hand. My uncle told me you was going to be one of two things. You was going to be a drinker or a chaser. I don't need to explain what that means. I, Okay, we probably all understand what that means. But in like I said, it's we were inadvertently taught these things while they are living a functional life, and there is what we are battling with nowadays. And now with the new social media and everybody wanting, I don't know, to get a bag, so to say, or to get smash as many 304s as we possibly can, even at a big age. I mean, this is where we're living at. So where is the change? Where does this start to change? How do you correct what has been inbred since the early 90s?
The people got to be willing to submit, and that's the problem. Instead of rebel, we have to the obvious good things that we need to do. People we have to submit to that as a collective, and that's the problem. We don't have majority of our people want to submit to a certain code of ethics with us, and we just want to do what we want to do, regardless of how destructive it is. And that's we just out of control, and we see that we need better, but the desire to do better is only existing with a small number of us. We got the people who doing the most destruction don't want to turn around. They don't want to give it up. They like let it burn. That's where we at. They don't care. Back in the Bible days when people would get that type of attitude where their behavior didn't matter, God didn't get no grace. He said eradicate them from your camp. You didn't even give them a chance. You didn't wouldn't no talking to a counselor and a therapy. No, they beyond help. And so that's to me that's where we at. You can't cure these people, man. They don't want to do right. You see the worst atrocities in our community, and it don't turn these people around at all. They more fascinated with getting their phone out and recording stuff, recording people getting pew-pewed in the street for likes. That's where we at. You look at that movie, Idiocracy, brother. That is where we're headed. That is where we're headed, man. The stupidest, the most stupid stuff that you could think of that's gonna be normalized. That's where we're headed. Our judicial, just imagine these people today, right? All of us, I say within the next 40 years, we're gonna be approaching the bucket if we ain't crossed it already. And the stupidity that we're seeing out of these kids is what's gonna take over the judicial system. That's scary, bro. And we can't turn them around. I don't know what we're gonna do.
You speaking some hard, cold, true facts. Go ahead, Miss Angelita.
Yes. He is definitely speaking some hard code true facts. And I do hear you. I did hear you bring up spirituality a lot of times, and I heard you bring up Jesus and heard you bring up a lot of destruction. However, um, I think that one important thing to note is a lot of these people were in the church. The church is a major part of this destruction that's happening in our communities. And sometimes you have to step outside of that to just have a certain level of understanding before we try to push Jesus or before we try to push, whatever it is that our spirituality is or whatever it is that our faith is, because a lot of where we are headed or a lot of where we are going is from the church. That's why you don't see a
Mm,
lot of people going to church anymore. You don't see people walking into the church like they used to. You don't see the church out here how they used to be. So when we talk about biblical principles and in the Bible days and certain things that they used to do, Jesus went beyond the walls of of the church. He went beyond those four walls, but you don't really see that happening anymore. And so it is everybody's job to um go out to have a level of understanding, but you want to be very careful with pushing that narrative because that narrative, the church has created a lot of hurt, and a lot of the things that's happening is coming from the demise of the church.
Question for you. Question for you. You brought that up right. Well, I'm all about keeping it a buck. I'm all about keeping it extremely real. Let's agree with what we're seeing right in front of our face. When you see these pimp pastors and
There you go.
you see these guys doing what they do, who are the biggest supporters of these men?
Women.
Black men see the problem and we walk away. And we warn y'all to say, y'all need to stop going down there. You need to stop supporting this dude. He ain't no good. And all across America in the black church, there are still 80% black women who are supporting these scoundrels who are wrecking the community that you just spoke of. And we telling you, follow your husband. Go get your husband. No, y'all want to go down there and keep following that dude, the dude that your black man don't agree with.
Uh, uh,
I don't agree with these guys.
and that's exactly where I was going to go also,
Yeah.
when we brought up that, because that's why there's a lack of men in the church. We peep game. And that's why they target everything around the women in the church. It's because who can they
They
hustle?
play on the emotions.
Who can they hustle? Who's going to give them that money? Who's going to continue to pay those tithes? The man going to
D,
take him and his money. He going to be a CMEer. We going Christmas, Mother's Day, and Easter, and we going to give you them same $2.
D,
You
let me
lucky
tell you
we're
this,
not
bro.
going to retip with that $2, but we going to give you that same $2. You're going to get $6 out of us for the year.
D, let me tell you this, bro. Right here in my city of Chattanooga, Tennessee, we have a mega pastor who's affiliated with the Creflos, the Jamal Bryants. They done come here and had big conferences and everything, man. This dude got 5 mistresses, and he been found out that he was paying them 125 grand a piece to be on the church's payroll as his hoes. Yes, dude, he got outed. He was a bishop, got suspended. They suspended him for a month. They say he gonna step down until the church calls for him to come back. Guess who called for him to come back? Black women. Black women all over social media. He ain't perfect. This man got babies outside his marriage. The very stuff that y'all say y'all don't support and don't believe in, and the stuff y'all say these black men out here doing this, y'all will go down there and give y'all money to this dude and call for him to come back to keep preaching to you. And black men in the community see that. And why do y'all think we just throwing up our hands and walking away? We can't twist y'all arm to make y'all follow us, right? We can't do it. All we can do is talk and try to influence and tell you don't do it. It ain't good for you. Now, this man done took your hard-earned money that could have went to your kids, and he done spent it on his hoes. He got videos where him arguing with a girl and the girl throwing a chair at him in the apartment. This dude got a wife. And the wife and the pastor came out and said they've been swilling in the church the whole time. They admitted it. And the black women still called the nigga back. Dude, you can't make this shit up. I just shake my head. But then you say black men is out here treating you bad and doing all this stuff. But the very epitome of what y'all say y'all against, y'all go down there and give y'all money to support. Make it make sense, man.
I will say, I have heard of that situation before that you spoke about. Um, I, for one, have been affiliated with my church probably most of my entire life. And this is just from generations, right? Because my grandmother still goes there. She's been going to the same church close to 55 years. Um, but that type of scandal that took place there, let me tell you, that's something beyond what I think anyone has mostly, as of recently, heard. There's been a lot of scandals in the past, but how people misuse and abuse the church and what it initially is for is another thing. Because if you look at where are we brothers and sisters supposed to come together for common grounding? I don't want to meet you at the club when you're drunk, even though they say a sober mind, with a drunk mind speaks a sober heart. Necessarily, I wouldn't go to a club to look for a brother and have an intellectual conversation. So, my question to the brothers will be: aside from that particular place, where else would we be able to meet and or converse amongst our brothers.
Ma'am, I hate to say it, but I used to play in church for years, from age 14 on up. And I don't think the church is a place to meet people because, I mean, if you knew how much stuff goes on behind the scenes, I don't know if you're involved, but if you know how much doggone, even pastors like, oh, did you see what Sister such and such had on? And his wife sitting there in the first pew on side of Sister with her, and being a musician, if you see how much stuff goes on, you wouldn't be so interested in meeting someone in the church, or even the deacon boards. With deacon boards have basically obsolete now because a lot of these pastors own the church, but that's a whole nother different story now. But if you understand the stuff behind or you could see the stuff behind the scenes, you would be like, nah, I don't need no man that wrapped up in the church, because you're gonna see a whole different ugly side of it.
And we know the BS that goes on. We that man that's up there in that pulpit, we don't look at him as a god, or he just a dude with another penis, and he just up there mouthing off, and he may say some good stuff from here for time to time, right? A lot of these pastors try to cast disdain in the pulpit for other men, right in the faces of the men sitting in their congregation, to try to project themselves as the ultimate man. There's videos on YouTube that black women have made, and the topic is the black church keeping black women single. Just go to YouTube and type it in. Your own sisters is making videos about this. They say they stopped going to church because they figured out that the pastor don't want them to have no husband. He
Because that
pimping
husband
you.
gonna stop the money. He's gonna stop the money.
Yes.
He's,
Because
he's
he
going to
know,
stop that.
bro,
Well,
I
well
talked to this
here's my
girl.
theory on that, right? Because if my husband is a controlled and the leader of the household, yes, he's gonna control the money. So I definitely understand from that standpoint if he's my husband. Um, but that just says if he's my boyfriend or my husband, it would be a different story. He's my boyfriend because he's not in charge of my finances, right? But at the same time, if he's my husband, he will be in control. So he will have the final say over, our finances.
Ten of the women in the church ain't even married. Sis. That's what I'm talking about. They ousting their husband. They go to church, and the pastor says, you know why you ain't getting your blessings? Cause you got that dude at home that God told you not to be with. And you go right home and kick the dude out that's been supporting you. Cause what pastor said. And you go right to church and you live the rest of your life looking for a dude like pastor. Cause
I
you
went through the very
fantasizing
thing.
about this life. Pastor rolling up in a Benz, he rolling up in a Lexus and all this stuff, and he got all this stuff in a big house, and you just sit there and fantasize, right? I can't wait till I find me one like that. And you're
Brother,
gonna be
God gonna send
65
me.
years old
I don't
sitting
know
in that
many sisters
congregation.
that actually think like that. Because a lot of the sisters I know, they are married, who do attend the church that I go to, and or widowed. Right. But I do know a lot of younger sisters who are not married, and I don't think they come to the church to look for a man. I think they come for, a lot of them for their own reasons. I can't speak on that part, but a lot of networking happens in those walls as well. In which, if you're working towards supporting not just yourself but your community, your people, that's a place where I would probably say I've met more people to network with than say here on a TikTok live, or on a panel.
At the bottom line, majority of black women is wanting a husband. Let's quit the cap. They going to church because they hoping God drop them a perfect being out of the sky. This guy is 6 foot this and 6 foot that. You want him to be a thug and fight. You won't believe in God. You just want this super dude that don't even exist. But you going to church hoping that God just avalanche him out of the clouds, and it's you living in fantasy land.
Block, we
Yeah,
got some
on
new
that
speakers.
point.
We wanna allow Looney Tunes and Reno King to speak. So go
Oh
ahead,
no,
sister.
it's okay. I let them speak. I mean, I've been up here for a minute, but I don't want to interrupt.
Yeah, okay, I missed you guys. I was tapping out over here. But we want
Yeah,
you to speak, and then we're gonna let Reno King speak.
of course.
Now, with that, I will say that I disagree. I feel that maybe you're putting on your own thoughts onto some women that do kind of go to church, because I don't go to church myself anymore, but I have my own reasons. But in my time of going to church in my youth, I've never seen any woman from, shoot, me or my family go to church specifically looking for men. And these were single women, unmarried women. They came to church to praise the Lord that was sitting there before them, and they is in his house. That's why I feel that I don't really agree with that statement, to be quite honest with you. And on top of that, with the pastors and all the people that go around in church, yes, it's always going to be somebody that's going to be a little dishonest. Church is always going to be messy. You ain't never gonna act like it's not gonna be messy. But with the way that you stated that they drive Benz and I want somebody that wants this or want somebody that has this, I feel that you're kind of projecting in a way. Respectfully, like I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but it feels like you're projecting in a certain kind of way because that's not the only reason that women go to church. There are very much God-fearing women in this world. I'm not one of them. As I said, I'm not Christian. I respect those that are Christian. Definitely do, because I grew up that way. But there are very much God fearing women that will not go to church just to talk to men. So I don't understand why it is that you put that on the forefront instead of putting it on the back burner.
Later, I want to let the rest of the panel get in.
Go ahead, Reno. You can go and speak, brother.
All right, I understand where the brother is coming from. I mean, truth be told, you know, if you go into church, in a lot of cases, okay, you're supposed to go to church to worship, but it's a mini church out there with singles ministries, and a lot of what he talking about. Church is a business also that people don't speak to, and you're gonna cater to whomever is the majority that's giving you business. Church to me, a lot of the church fell short because exactly what he talking about. And then when men tell women about why they should go or why they probably shouldn't go to that particular church, they trying to give a heads up. I actually gone through what that brother was talking about. I had a woman break up with me because of the pastor said I didn't worship the way that she worshiped because I wouldn't jump up and run around circles around the church. It's brothers that I know brothers that's in the church that be up in there and they would rather be with some of these women in the church. But it's gotten to such a place where, you know what I'm saying? I get what you're saying because there's women that be in the church. They be the very ones when the pastor say everybody single stand up, and he'll have the men to stand up and all that clapping going on, and then he'll have the women to stand up, and then when church let out, everybody running out of there like somebody shoot, and then get out here and get in the dating market and complain about what they've been exposed to in the dating market. And sometimes, most of the time, well, I ain't gonna say most of the time, but a good percentage of the time, a lot of these people choose church last when they go through all kind of H out here in these streets, and then they get beat up all over the place from choosing all of the wrong type of people. After all of that, then they come up in the church, or if they've been coming up in the church, then they take it all to the church. So I understand what the brother's saying. And as far as the
Honestly,
topic, go ahead, man.
I honestly understand what he's saying as well. Because just from, my experiences and what I've seen, and I've been a part of mega churches, I've been a part of startup churches, I have traveled with churches, I have been to churches out of state, very heavy in the church community. And a lot of times, even though I don't think he's saying that women are strictly going to church to find a man, I don't think that. However, the church have helped shape women's views. And so what happens is when you talk to a lot of women, they say, I want to know if the man is in the church, or what church do you go to, or do you believe in God, or do you, it's very, it is very superficial, because just because a man go to church, that does not make him a good man. And the church has shaped certain stereotypes and they have shaped certain beliefs. And I do feel that a lot of women go to church and say, okay, I'm gonna pray, I'm like this, these are all of the things that he needs to have, looking for a perfect man that just doesn't exist. And so I do think that the church is a huge part of that. um and that's just where we are now. So I don't agree that women just go to church for men, but I do think that churches help shape a lot of the thought process behind the type of man that a woman should get, and it's not always the right process.
You're 100% correct on that. Like I said, from playing saxophone to the bass guitar in church, there's been incidents where I'm getting phone numbers or meeting people after funerals. It steered me away from playing at church. And then I'll give you another thing that steered me away that he probably didn't touch on or left on. A lot of these pastors or pulpit pimps, so to say, some of these pulpit pimps are buying their sermons. You done heard the same sermons before. They're buying them. They sell them on DVDs and they're selling them on. They're not actually preaching. They're just reiterating someone else's sermon. So when you've been in that position, or behind the scenes in the church, and you start to see these things, you're like, nah, bro, this ain't for me. I'm gonna study and show myself approved. And so there's a lot of people that are invited to the church, or I'm gonna seek in the church, and then think, oh well, yeah, I've been through he double hockey sticks, and how can this do me bad? Get in the wrong church and see how it do you bad. It do you worse out here in the streets than in the bar.
Well, let me tell you this. I I've been. I think for the last. I haven't been to church in 12 years, but that 5 years back from when I stopped. Right, I was going to church and married women. This is one of the things that really broke me up. Married women was walking up to me, offering me smicks, and they would go right back and sit with their husband in the pew, bruh. And the same woman would get up in the pulpit, Thomas said, "Come on, everybody, put your hands together. Let's praise the Lord," and go right down and offer me a blowjob. Yep. Now I'm an electrician by trade, right? Called me out, talking about they had rental properties and stuff for me to look at. Poster showed up with her husband. She showed up by herself. I said, "Where Nelson at?" "Oh, he couldn't come." She said, "Ever since I met you, Block, I've been wanting to give you this. You know you want this." And I went and told Pastor on him. He swept it under the rug.
That I do agree with.
And you see what I'm saying? Now you have a culture where the women are running the church. And that's and then when you go as a man to try to eradicate this bad behavior from within, from the ranks, and you got your leader up there that's co-signing it. And that's what I'm saying. It's a pimp game. It's all a big cesspool of sleeping around and everything. And I guarantee you, if the leader got holes, if the leader got babies outside his marriage, and those same people want to sit up there and keep on supporting him, they doing the same shit.
And that I do agree with.
Birds
I'll
of
be
a
quite
feather
honest
flock
with you.
together. How can two walk together, sit there, agree? And see, the thing is, we say that type of environment is not going to do black women well. But yet we see time and time again, y'all flock to that mess. You got male pastor on male pastor talking about what they call it, a first husband. Talking about what they call it, a first husband. First, they gotta call her. It ain't the first lady. They call them first. And guess who in the audience? Black women. All day fucking long. Y'all support bullshit, man. And that's why we just men who are conscious, we gonna stay away from y'all. Cause if y'all support that, how the hell you gonna do me any good as a man?
Hmm.
I can't twist your arm to make you do right. We living in an era where women have their freedom and autonomy to move how they want to move. All we can do is encourage you verbally, sister. That ain't good for you to do, baby. That ain't good for you to go. And then you got these marriages right where the husband tell his wife to stop going down there. She gonna keep taking her ass down there. Now you disrespecting your husband's leadership. He ain't gonna tell me what to do. He ain't gonna tell me what to wear. Right. You got the 19th Amendment make you politically equal to us, so we can't do shit to you. All we can do is just tell you, and you don't have to listen. And if you ain't gonna listen to us, why the hell you want me around as your leader? Why
That
you want a husband? You just want a dude with a hard dick, a shut mouth,
Oh,
and a
wait, wait,
fat
wait,
wallet.
wait,
You
wait,
don't want to
language,
have no opinion about
language,
nothing. You don't want to have no
language,
opinion about nothing. That's what
language,
these women want
daddy,
today.
language. Come on. Calm down, daddy. Calm down.
No,
Ooh.
I'm just telling the truth. Y'all want a
Ooh.
dude with a hard penis, fat wallet, and
Wait,
a
wait,
shut
wait,
mouth.
wait. You gonna get us marked.
No, we
You got
ain't.
to
I done
prove it.
said this plenty of times on TikTok.
Oh,
with
Lord.
what it is
Hard
that
stuff and
Let's
bubblegum.
be real. That's what majority women want. They don't want no leader. They don't want no man to instruct them in the right way. We want a man for fun. Just be fun and make me happy and have a lot of money and have a hard penis and just don't. I don't want your opinion about nothing. Just shut up. You don't have to lead. I don't need you for no leader. I just need a companion. I just want somebody to freak the same time all the time. I don't want no different men, but I don't want no leader too. I just want you to be here so we can take pictures and put them on Instagram and show everybody we happy. You don't want no real man to lead you in the right way, in the way of righteousness and victory. You don't want that.
Hey,
now we
have you a question? How many men on here well, that may be single, have started asking, because I did this, asking a woman, can you let a man be your man? That's something I've had to add. Because there's a lot of women that say they want a man and let him be the man, but no, you have to ask this question now. Can you let a man be your man, the man, all those different ways? And it becomes a pause,
That's going to
a
require
complete
submission,
pause.
though. You know they don't like that.
No, because they used to being men to themselves. They're not used to being led by no man, and unfortunately, a lot of them came up with no fathers in the household, so they didn't see no example of no man leading their mothers. They ain't see no conflict resolution between their mother and father to where they were still respectful. You could always tell it stick out like a sore thumb. All you got to do is say something that most don't agree with, and then watch how it go. Watch and see if there's any insult start coming in, if it's deflection coming in. All you gotta do is sit back and watch.
And Reno, the ones that did grow up, they were I don't agree with that. He controlled my mama and my mama this. I ain't finna live like that. No, I ain't finna have no man control me right, telling me where to go, what to wear, and I see my
Yeah.
dad do my mama that way. I ain't finna live like yeah.
Oh yeah, and then every old school father that was out there that was married, and these marriages is 30, 40, 50 years. Well, you can't take the word of them because back then women didn't have no benefits. They ain't had no choice but to stay with them. You go through that whole song and dance, and what you talking about have something to do with just having dialogue in a respectful manner. Because if you disagree with them, they don't expect you to come after them like they come after you with, come after your juggler. They expect understanding and whatnot. But it's just, that stuff like that. It's just based upon the fact that your parents is really your internship on a relationship. You watch them.
Guys, I would like for you to speak to Peaky's. Peaky just made a comment in the comment section. He said the issue is there aren't enough good men for women to choose from. These boys got to step it up. How do y'all feel
Oh,
about that?
Define a
I
good
love
man. Can she define a good man? Because I mean, I don't. Maybe I
I,
hate to put it this way, but maybe she's never seen that. But for what she's choosing, because sometimes your choices in what you think is good is not actually good. It may have been your preference, but that good person that good man may not be your preference of what you want. 6 feet, $600,000 a year. I mean, maybe that's not a good. That's that your preference. It may be the issue of what you want.
Well, I'll say to that.
I,
You know what I'm saying?
I was
Go ahead.
hoping, I was hoping the responses we would have from the men would have been based on what they've seen from their own fathers,
Well,
right?
I was about to give that.
Not so much on the relationships they've had with other women. I think it starts with
No.
your upbringing. Like, for example, I didn't want to say that I'm fortunate enough that my parents have been married over 45, 48 years. You know, my dad still pays all the bills. My mother does not
Why
have
is
to
him
work.
paying all the bills? What does that come in at? I
Meaning,
mean,
like,
why is
he's a
that
tradition.
important?
He old school with it. We don't pay bills. Well, my mom don't pay bills. Don't take out garbage. She just in house, meaning cook, clean, make sure he come home to, a meal, things like that. But
Okay, so what
um,
other things have you learned from your father other than he pay all the bills and take out the trash? That
not just that, but
That's what
I
I
mean,
want
he also taught me how to change a tire.
no, I'm talking
You
about
I
what
mean, I'm gonna
wisdom
keep it
things
frank
has
with
he
you. I
taught you
was
about
kind of
being a
like
woman?
daddy's girl, so I clung
but
to him. But he
but
also taught me how
again
to
with
respect a man and my position as a woman in a committed, monogamous relationship, and understanding the
ma'am, do
difference
you
between the
realize?
boy and the man. Because I just said that earlier, the burdens versus the meeting all needs. So when you're saying what you need in a man, you need him to lead, but does take into consideration him having a good
Hold on.
foundation matter?
Miss Independent.
Ma'am, do you not realize how many men that have been married 40, 50 years in that era that we're in when they move on to the next level of life, the afterlife, that at funerals, how many of those men have outside children show up? So we can put on a good facade of what it is to be a good man, but they're living a double life, and I can attest to it. For the past 15 years, three children, outside children, have showed up with family members to those what you say are good men that have been married 30, 40, 50 years.
I
So
get.
For you, D. Will.
I could.
Now, me
I could.
specifically,
Why did
That
it?
makes me
So I had a
okay.
question for D. Will. I just wanted to
yes,
know
ma'am.
why did it strike a nerve when she said that he was a provider? Like, what's
No,
wrong
no,
with
no.
that
It's
part?
I never said about a provider. I'm just saying I didn't say it didn't strike a nerve about anything about a provider. But again, we're talking about what is the definition of a good man? Because I'm just telling you, some of those men have dark stuff hidden behind, and they don't come out until later on.
Well,
And
at this age,
I can
at this
attest
tender
to that.
age
Andy,
of my
I think
father's life, I think he got more than enough. He's gained more than enough love and respect from the family, in regards to the forgiveness level. So if he ever did, even after life, right? Um, I don't even think anyone's going to look at it and say, well, when he had time, or when was this going on? Because at the end of the day, we are very open and honest with each other, and it's love here. So I don't think anyone would look at him and say you less of a man because you had a
man, a lot of
child
these men,
when you
a lot of
were
these men
I'm
28
finding
not
out the
years
saying.
truth.
old and a young
Hold on
lady
a minute.
moved across the
A
state.
lot of these men in these marriages finding out the children ain't even theirs 40 years later. Let's
I don't
talk.
know what y'all be around. I'm gonna be
See,
honest with y'all.
now,
Come
Y'all
on,
be
man.
coming through with
I'm
these.
just
what
waiting.
what
It be
I am
Uh,
making me think
finding
like, what do
quite
y'all really? Where have
confusing,
y'all really been around to be speaking like this? Because
What you
what
talking about? This
I'm
stuff is
I'm
on.
saying
excuse me,
we're
what I
talking
am
about, ma'am.
finding
We're
quite
talking about
confusing.
stuff of what
Okay.
we're
Hold on.
seeing.
Let's let the young ladies talk. Go ahead, Looney Tone, and then Miss Independent can go. Go ahead, Miss Looney. Let's try to.
What I am finding quite confusing is with everything that was said by both the women and the men on the panels, it seemed that you brought up something that would be, for lack of better words, a con to what it is that they were saying. Like you brought up the exact opposite. Not that you were okay with addressing what it is that they said, that was okay. But I don't know which woman up here said it, but it was like, what made you get so defensive about a man being a provider? They gave you an answer. Then they gave you another topic, and then you flipped it and turned it into the bad situation. I'm kind of losing it a little bit because I'm trying to figure out why is it that you have so many bads for what I would demean as goods for situations that happen to other women as far as their fathers. Because quite earlier, I did try to ask Miss Independent, which I'm not being disrespectful, ma'am. I was gonna ask if I could speak on that topic about the single fathers or double parent homes because I grew up in a single parent home. But according to what it was said on this panel, you would think that I grew up in a double married parent home because of how it is I conduct and speak about myself. So I'm actually confused. I feel like some of this is a little more subjective.
We were earlier.
Self-evaluate.
Earlier we were talking about in the 90s. I think the brother brought up about in the 90s how things started to change, and some of these things are now coming to light. Um, and it wasn't a triggering thing. It wasn't a thing. It was just, to point light that there are a lot of men that have been married in that era that have inadvertently done some things to us, our generations or our age, that we may have inadvertently learned. And there's some that were done doing a lot of stuff in the dark, and those things inadvertently we picked up those traits, and we see those traits now. Are we trying to live like that? No, but it is our duty to say that, hey, this happened. And as for the lady that was saying, yeah, they married 40 years and that they would accept it, I've actually witnessed those other the kids that are actually, were raised by the mama and daddy, for the one that's moved on, and they flip out. They're like, I can't. My daddy was this, my daddy was this and that, and they flip. I've seen one, and this is my own personal family, that I'm talking about. So I'm not talking about anybody else's family, but it's happening a lot nowadays, and we're seeing it come about. And we're just, having to have these discussions. Maybe we've laughed at it before, but it's a serious thing that's been popping up in our community as of lately. And us that are in our 40s, 30s, 40s, in 50s now, and we're seeing this stuff, and we're like, ooh, this ooh, where this y'all come from? And as it continues to grow for those generations that are moving on, you're like, okay, so they weren't that perfect being that we thought they were.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to talk about this, and we have to address this so the cycle is not repeated.
I can say
Am
I
I
agree
making
with that.
myself clear?
Yeah, you making yourself quite clear, but I'm finna make myself crystal. Now, I'll be honest
Okay.
with you. I was one of those children. I grew up with my mama. My daddy was my grandfather until my stepfather came into my life, which I consider him my real dad. He did more than my real dad could ever do. I was one of those kids. It hurt. Yes, it did. Up until about a year ago, I could not let that man go. He didn't want me. He told me to my face at 7 years old in the closet of my house on Trailer 64 on Hooper Road in Houston, Texas, that he didn't want me.
Mm,
To my face as a child. Now, obviously, as a kid, you ain't gonna think none of it. I grew up, I was angry. I was a very angry individual growing up because, ooh, my daddy didn't want me. I reached out. I did what a parent should be doing to a parent. I'm a child acting like a parent. That's foolish. I don't like it. That's some tomfoolery that I don't want fool with no more. But I did it. Did it build my character? Yes. But at the end of it, I still found me a new dad. And even if I didn't have one, I had my papa. My papa, I could walk up the street to his house. I still was taught integrity. I was still taught to be awesome stuff that everybody think women should be taught. Everything that I've been taught was either by my stepdad, which I consider my father, or my grandfather, or my mother. So I don't think it's just having double or two parents in the household. I feel like it does indeed take a village. It take a village. Where the rest of your family at? None of your family can talk to your babies. None of your family can do something. Not that they have to, but if your baby come around that family enough, you would think that they give them some pointers or something. It take a village. It definitely does take a village. Because without that village, where would I be? I wouldn't be in college. I wouldn't have a degree. I wouldn't be pursuing my degree. I wouldn't have everything that I have at the current moment, including my knowledge, my physical, my mental, and my emotional. So I don't think it's just about the father. It's about the father, the mother, and the rest of the family as well.
I agree
Say
with
fathers are very important because, um, and let me back up and say effective fatherhood is important. Not all men who can make babies are ready to be fathers or even equipped to be fathers. And then that's why I mean, he said he didn't want you. We live in an era today where you got men who engage in sexual activity that don't want kids, right? And so the thing is that's an issue we have in today is that the men state that they don't want the children, but the women get to choose whether the children come here or not. Well, see, when a woman don't want the child, she can go get rid of it and do what she needs to do, and nobody's gonna call her a deadbeat. Nobody's gonna call out her name and ridicule her and take her to court and take her money and say you this, you that. She gets to totally walk away unscathed, right? Man don't get the same right, and that's a problem in this country. If a woman get to choose now, if the dude want the baby, she can still choose. Well, I ain't having it. Too bad. Go get somebody else pregnant. And she could just totally absolve herself and walk away with no ridicule.
Mm-hmm.
See, what I'm saying that
Now,
might have been. I'm just saying that may have been the case
no,
in your dad's situation.
no,
I
it
don't know.
has
I'm just
not.
saying it may have.
Now, I can speak on this vividly because when I turned 18 years old, I asked my mother everything that happened regarding me, her, and my father. After he told me that he did not want me. Now, as a child, from my birth all the way until I was 18 years old, my mother never told me anything bad about that man. As much as she may have wanted to, she let me form my own opinion. By the time I was 16, 17 years old, I already knew how I felt about my father because at the point he did not treat me like his third child. He treated me like I was just somebody that just so happened to have blood relation to him. My mother kept that child. He told her before I was even birthed that he didn't want me, but he still stayed. He tried to be a father, and by all means, do what you have to do. I'm not upset, nor will I be mad at you, because I'm a baby. I don't know nothing about that. But now I'm grown. And now you try to give me little BS. I'm sorry. I don't care about a sorry anymore. I feel like I'm healed at this point. I'm not worried about you. I ain't worried about that other side of my family because y'all ain't did me a lick of nothing. My
What I
mother
was
did not put that
I think
man on
that's
child support at all. At all. He would send money when he felt like it, and to this day, he's still not on child support because she raised me by herself. Her, my grandfather, and my stepfather. That was it. He didn't want me, so she didn't give him any responsibility of me.
that's probably what he was speaking to when he said that in so many words, usually when men don't take care of a child, is because they probably didn't agree to have that child. So that's a very unfortunate situation. Like
Yeah.
I'm sorry that you even had to experience that
Don't
because
even be
you didn't
sorry.
ask to be here.
It's all right. I can't turn back no hourglass. I can't put no extra sand in it. Ain't no need to be sorry. I'm still here living and breathing. Ain't no worries.
I
Just
Yeah,
break that quietness. Luni, I would
Yes,
say
ma'am.
you have a beautiful accent. I love how some of you just put the words together. I just love it. Hourglass. What else did you say? You
I
be
got accent.
crystal. I just love it. I'm here for it.
I just be talking. I just be talking. I didn't know I had no accent now. But, you know.
Sometimes something like that can put you in a better position, though, because my father that I refer to as my father is my stepfather. My biological dad, you know, he his heart was in the right place, but he didn't. To me, it's a difference between a dad and a father. A father teach. You know, the providing is just a part of being a father, a husband. That's a part of it. You know, but the providing don't stop at your wallet. You know what I'm saying? The providing start with your core values, your character, your standards, your morals. It start with that. And then from there, if you got that intact, then the paycheck and everything else gonna be a given. The love for your family gonna be a given. It is true what you said, D. Will, about the transition in the '90s. I mean, many of us know that in the '90s to out about 2008, when they took away real R&B, a lot of
Hmm.
this that's going on now started heavy because at least at
Trina.
that time you had a choice. You had a choice in what direction you wanted to go in. You could either listen to something that's pimp and player, or you can listen to something that was going to be conducive of love and family. You had different influences, even with your relatives. A lot. This generation don't have no OGs like that. You
No.
know, not like that, and you could tell it. You know what I mean? And honestly, I think a big part of the problem is when it comes to conversations like this. So far, everybody been respectful that's been on this panel. Most of the panels that I've gone on since I've been on TikTok, I haven't been on that long. But you'll see the battle of the sexes. And then when everything's said and done, it's no resolution because that kind of stuff that was designed. That was by design, all that stuff that went on in the '90s to break up the household.
Yep.
And everybody falling for it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these topics, you didn't have these topics when you was talking about even in the '90s. This stuff wasn't up for discussion as hard as it is now, and you still had women with careers. You still had women that was highly educated. You still had
Hmm.
men out here with trades and careers.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
But remember, look at the music that came out
I was just about to say
late
that.
in the '90s to the 2008. Let's name some of the artists. I'm gonna just go from the end. Let's go from Plies. What did Plies talk about? Let's talk about Plies in Florida. Then you had Trina in Florida. You know, yes, we had Two Live Crew way back late '80s and '90s, but I mean, we know what they was fun rap, dance rap. But then you had your Plies and your Trinas and your pop up, and then let's go to the Atlanta. Atlanta started out with the doggone Ludacris in that area and the Outcast, and then look what it's changed to later on in that era.
I don't
And
know.
then let's go to sir.
Pardon my interruption, but I just want to clarify. You can't say Trina implies. You to be correct, you would have to say Trina and Trick Daddy, and
Well,
then you can't say Outcast before you say, or you can't say Ludacris then say Outcast. You have to say Outcast then say Ludacris.
I'm not putting them in chronological order. I'm just talking about the feel good music versus the music that is just sexualized. Because if you go to Trick Daddy, Trick Daddy wasn't that bad, but then you had Trina and then Plies. We go Outcast and Ludacris, and even the So Def crew, but then you go after that and look what happened. We even could go to Louisiana. We could go to Houston. Each one of those eras. We could go to Chicago with those.
Still
And
disagree.
then it's changed
I
to
still,
some stuff that, sir.
I
Oh.
pardon me again. I'm big on clarification. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Big Play, my G. You clean as a whistle, sharp as a knife. God, you clean as a whistle, sharp as a knife. God, leave my G on point. You know what I'm saying? But I think to clarify, right? If you talk about pimps and players, You only gonna be as gangsta as your mother is. The most pimpish and the most players was raised by their mothers, including Magic, and including Pimp. You know what I'm saying? It was a woman that taught you the
Okay.
ways of the woman.
I mean,
We
yeah,
are we are only as gangster as our mother is, and in most cases, our mothers are more gangster than our fathers.
that depends on the mother and the father. You know, but I get where you're coming from. You know what I'm saying? Because you learn by the observation of a woman. I get what you talking about. But at the end of the day, you had a choice. Like all those people he just named, you also had a
Mm-hmm.
whole nother genre of music where you had a choice. You can go right on up the ladder with different R&B artists the same way you went up the ladder with hip hop. But today, that today, what is everything about? Like back then, even in every hood movie you saw, Minister Society, Boys in the Hood, didn't matter what it was, you always saw a representation of black love in it somewhere. But when you look at stuff
Right.
now, what you see?
Of a mother for their child. Uh,
You all, you
it,
also saw the love of fathers too. There was fathers present in a lot of these movies.
Giving
When
examples.
Minister
When Kane was
Society
out
is
there
the higher
showing out,
learning.
Minister society, high learning, high learning. It wasn't a player situation. That was more so Pan Africanism.
Boys in
well,
the
that's
Uh,
what I'm saying. You had a choice.
In the different time.
in New Jack City, you had the old man who was campaigning on clean up the hood, and Boys in the Hood, you had Trey Father, always on
Mm-hmm.
uplifting the
Boys
community.
in the hood. Trey father. It was Trey's grandmother who had the greatest impression. Trey's grandfather
Then you
No,
still
no,
was
can't, like I
to
just
I'm
said,
talking
even
scripture.
with
about in
higher
Boys in the
learning,
Hood.
you had, dude, you had a different set in there. It's a lot of different, but if we look into what's going on now, that how we're portrayed in the movies, how we're portrayed in the music, how the music is even delivered. I can't even listen to half this new stuff.
Well, they took
We gotta go
the
back to.
positive characters out of the movies and the TV sitcoms and programs that we grew up in our era with. We had the Bill
Right, a
Cosby.
different world.
Yeah, we had
Right.
a different world. We had, you know what I'm saying, all these different outspoken, you know what I'm saying, black leader voices back then. To where
Right.
nowadays you can surf the TV and cable channels all day long, and you really is nothing positive for the black family. It's not even a representation of black family on TV anymore. You know, and that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because like I
And the
don't
thing is, we have more creative. It seemed like we would have. It seems like we would. It seems like we would have more creative control over that for the powers that be, like the Tylers and those that do uh, have
well if they don't play
how that.
ball, if they don't play ball, they get blackballed. So it's no incentive
I,
to put that out there.
Somebody
I
in the
watch a
matrix,
lot of
in the
Tubi
matrix,
movies,
brother.
Chris Stokes' movies. Uh-oh,
No, you good. I think the other brother in
that's
the
me.
matrix. Oh, that's okay.
Oh,
E,
okay.
what's up,
It's
man?
me.
What's
It's
going
me in the
on, brother?
Matrix.
No, I think that's the other brother. I thought you was sounding okay. It might be. I'm not sure what it
Oh,
was.
What you think? It's me?
both of them was
Yeah.
Y'all
red
good
lights.
now.
I
You
mean,
sound much better, Reno.
okay.
You can go ahead.
I, I mean,
You in the matrix, brother. That's you. Go ahead, Reno.
movie.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Those.
Like
Oh
what he's
shoot.
saying is right, and that's a big part of the problem. You know what I mean. You don't have the images now the way that you did. So much so that the brother above me is referencing to the strong women, but you don't hear the references to the strong men. And that's because they not really showing the strong men. It's not that the men ain't out here. It was somebody that was in the comment section that said it's not many good men. It's not that it's not good men out here. It's that good men ain't been put on women radar to where they can even recognize them when they're in their face. The same way that a woman could say that about good women on a good man radar.
Yeah.
So you walking past one another because of most of the media that you getting. Malcolm X said that whenever any country or any superpower wanted to push an agenda, the first thing they would use is media. So now, what's the biggest source where a lot of people getting their information on relationships and dudes? Is media. It's been the same thing. Ain't that, the only thing changed is the way the lyrics changed, but the song is the same.
The song is the same. And you know what's crazy, to piggyback off of what you just said when women talking about how they can't find a good man. You know what it really boiled down to. You looking for the man that looks good, not the good man. Because most good men probably don't fit your vision of what a good looking man should be.
And
So
that's what I
then
said.
you got all these women sitting here crying the same song when the men telling them the solution, you know what I'm saying, to the problem. It's not what you're picking, it's what you're overlooking. You know what I'm saying? And until they get that point, straightened out within themselves, because we can't force that upon them. We can lead them to the water, but we can't make them drink it. So they know there's real men out here, right? It's successful men out here. It's men that got everything going on for themselves. And if you talk to some of them, they in the same boat. They refusing to hang out in some of these spots where these women are looking for the single man, and the women are not going to be in the places that the successful men hang out at. So we gonna do this 1-2 step and miss the whole point, and then keep, what I'm saying, playing like, oh, you know what I'm saying? It's just not for me. I haven't found it. I haven't seen it. Well, stop doing what you've been doing. Change up the things you've been doing, and you will start meeting these people. Just like with good women. It's good women everywhere. You know what I'm saying? But
It's
some of
not.
the some of the bad it's more bad guys that's everywhere than good guys that's everywhere. You ain't gonna find good guys in some places, but you're gonna find bad guys everywhere.
Nah, so then I was the gentleman that made the comment regarding enough good men. I do think there is a denotation for a good man. And I think that instead of imploring women to, I guess, choose better, I think it will be more advantageous for us as stand up guys to encourage men to be better, on the premise that if we are individually on this panel, if we are good men, then I think it's okay for all of us to assume that we surround ourselves with equal good men. So we know what a good man is. However, we don't hang around all men. There are certain men that just cannot be around us. There are certain men who do things that are just disadvantageous to growth and development, to providing, to nurturing, to caring. Uh, so I think to put the onus on the women to put the onus on women would be to be evasive. Additionally, to use media as a crutch would also be evasive on the premise that gangsters do what they want to do. And I think a gangster is a good man because a gangster gonna be what his family need him to be, as opposed to what society says he's supposed to be. And that's the greatest thing that we can do as men, is to sacrifice what others think of us for the progress of our families. So to say that, just because we see Nino Brown, or we see Trey, or we see, Future, that's no excuse. We know what it take. We know the amount of sacrifice that it take, and we got to encourage more men
to be better.
But, but we've been
That come with
depending
the
on the
territory.
we've been depending on everyone else to show them through television programming or whatever programming, social media programming, of what they say a good man should be. And that's a false narrative, because that's not what a good person is. Or oh, well, he's got this, or we've let everybody tell us. That's why I asked the question: how do they recognize that it's a good man, good person, a good woman? Because have we ever seen one?
Well, truth be told, on the whole aspect of me referencing to media, I reference to media because it's been a giant that's been moving people and controlling people since basically the beginning of time when it come to our people. And all they do is they change up their pitch to whatever it is that the agenda is. Well, if we make up the what 1.9 trillion, 1.6 trillion in spending power, then what greater people to keep divorced and separated? And the one way to do it is to have the battle of the sexes up in the forefront and then take
Mm.
away all of the stuff that would be the positive stuff to focus on. And then basically by doing that, whatever image you put out there, people will go after that image the same way they go after changing their clothes or they style of dress. They'll go after that same image by default. So the reason that, and as far as you speaking on, holding men accountable, that comes with the territory. Everything I learned about manhood came from my father, my stepfather. You know what I'm saying? Literally everything I learned about knowing about core values and principles. All of that wisdom came from my father. Well, if that father teaches the son right, then whenever you are that good man, the light draw people to you. You end up being you become a magnet of people calling you for advice on their relationships or whatever is going on. And please believe those brothers that's in your circle, you'll end up feeding off of one another the same way that we do on this podcast. All I'm saying is, whenever you've been pushed with certain imagery for what? It's been what, 20 something years that it's been strong, real heavy. Whenever you push certain images over and over and over and over, people by the masses tend to mimic it.
I think that's sensory deprivation. That's essentially taking a free will from the minority as if we don't have a choice. That would be that's like kind of contradicting your own claim to be aware of something being manipulative and to still be manipulated is ignorance. You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't match up. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we know that the minority cannot perpetuate majority of the crime because they are the minority, that would be to accept the agenda. A good man does not accept what society tells them it is. Instead, a good man would teach his children how to circumvent the system in a way that's beneficial to the child. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what we've been doing for ages. And most we have 7 different avenues. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just can't accept the fact that we trying to make the case that oppression is still a thing, especially on the basis that black women are attaining more financial freedom than black men. We just trying to cling to the idea of some sort of fictitious definition of leadership. If we talking about leadership, I don't know. Like, I'm kind of confused. Are we talking about leadership, or are we talking about polygamy? Are we saying that multiple women need to choose one man, or are we talking about there being a majority of good men? If we
I'm
talking about
talking I'm talking about a man's ability to be able to acknowledge a good woman when he do, when one come across him based upon her core values, not just her looks, not just her education, but be able to see that woman. And then in the same light, that woman be able to see that man, be it he an electrician, no matter what his height is, no matter what that is, everybody got their preference. But at a point, wisdom start coming in time and learning start coming in time. The things I'm The things I'm bringing up to you is I'm bringing up cross references. I'm not controlled by media. If I was controlled by media, I wouldn't even be on this platform talking about what I'm talking about. That don't apply to me. I'm only shining a light on how you get like
Right.
blackdemographic.com. Since you brought up that most black women are free. On blackdemographic.com, we make 55,000 a year on average, black men. Black women make 50. So if it was no good black men out here with no level of success, then you wouldn't have that as a statistic with us being in prison at the rates that we in prison. That wouldn't be going on. You see what I'm saying? So when I'm bringing up to you, it's so that people can be able to see. Like every time a black man becomes successful, the first thing he go out and do is get him a white woman. But we only married to 8% of white. Only 8% of black men married to white women. 85% married to black women. See, when you start knowing stuff like that, you don't move like what you see in the majority, and you teach that. And your focal point is that. When most people looking at Ratchet Tuesdays on TV, you and your studies to do something about it and then take it out. Every man in my circle, we talk about these topics without TikTok, and that's how you start affecting change. That's all I'm saying.
Are you single?
Question also for Reno.
Huh?
The definition of a man is
My definition of a man: leadership and the wisdom that he give on day-to-day life events with what he gonna be presented with. My father is probably the best definition. The best way I can explain that is this. This man came along, took on the responsibility of a 13-year-old boy, impacted his life so much that I changed my last name to my father's last name because my biological dad was not there to sign my birth certificate. That man showed me what a family was. We never had family events. Took me bowling, took my mother bowling. He changed our whole life. Took us out to projects. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have to do that, but that man still did it. I never all the sneaky slick stuff that was going on. All I ever saw my father do was go to work, come home. He would sit me down at the table every month that he did the bills. He would sit me down at the table so I could watch him do the bills. Whenever him and my mother would he used to tell me, "I want you to pay attention to us the most when we do not agree, and watch how we watch the communication. And I want you to watch me and watch how it's solved at the end of the day." Like that is a man. That man is showing me. With my mother was one of the hardest women I've known. My mother was like Della Reese off Harlem Nights. But
Wow.
I watched my father change that woman. It's certain principles that come
What?
with a man in provision and leadership that that's going to be automatically linked to everything that would make you the person that would take the high road versus the low road. A good man come along when he teaching like that, he can take somebody that got one foot in the streets and one foot out. And by that leadership and discipline and him leading by example, it'll inspire you to want to be that man versus the man that you might have seen your biological father as. That's manhood to me.
Reno,
so.
I
Kiki,
appreciate
before you start, can I just get your response on that? What is your definition of a man, also, please?
um my definition of a man is what his family needs him to be. Point blank period. um Reno, I appreciate you for sharing your sentiment. However, the only constant in your scenario is your mother. So, as much as you want to connect the idea of having, to compare two men in your life, your mother is the one that showed you what a good man is. And in the comparison that you made to Harlem Nights, she taught Eddie Murphy how to be a man, how to put himself second to the agenda of the collective. This is, I don't know, like I ain't trying to I'm not making a case that, like, I ain't trying to pander to what women want to hear. I'm just saying that we as men need to step it up. You know what I'm saying? Like we so fixated on the idea of what society say a man is. Society is perpetuated by Caucasian ideology. The closest thing that we have to what a man is what our family asks of us, to sacrifice our own agenda. You know what I'm saying? Like, how
Right.
many times does a man have to buy the same thing because his family then tore it up? How many times does a man have to correct himself, no matter how reactionary you want to be? Like, you come home and the house is loud and all you want is peace and quiet. You can't react that way. That's not to be a man. A man is to serve and protect. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Put him in the thing.
I don't know, man. Like, I don't think that the conversation should. If we talking about being men, there's no way we can reference women in this idea. We have to hold the
Well,
mirror in front of men, and there's not enough good men available for women to choose from. So much so, so many women experience, violence from men.
What I'm seeing a lot of, especially what I hear on some of these TikTok lives, are older men, right? Who they still give off like boyish vibes and energy, even though they are older. Um, and I'm not expecting to say everyone should be mature based on their age, but there's a lot of brothers who still say things as if they don't believe in marriage or all men cheat.
Hey, Dad, you got some warm water in your room? You
What's your
got some
take on
warm
that?
water in your room? Yeah.
that
Yes.
wait a minute. I'm confused what you're asking. What's the
Oh,
question?
that water gonna be cold. You want to warm that shit up.
Oh my God.
Host, host,
Play.
host,
Yeah.
you are unmuted.
Mute,
Host,
play.
mute.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
How y'all doing?
We
Y'all
don't want to
y'all
hear
gonna
all
hold
your
it or
business.
we gonna
We,
huh?
we don't want to hear all your business.
Oh, what? I'm sorry. We
What
gonna
is the exact question, if you don't mind that? Because
we
What
gonna
is your
end it.
take on what is your
Y'all want to
take on
keep it
men
or
who
you want
say
to
they
end
don't?
it?
I'm sorry. Hold on, go ahead.
Y'all want to keep it, Christina, or you guys want to take it out and then continue tomorrow?
I'm tired.
Okay, okay.
I'm sleepy too.
Okay, well, guys, we're gonna end it tonight. We'll be back tomorrow at 8, 9, and then we have with a new topic. We appreciate
I
everybody
appreciate you,
being here,
man.
man. And salute to everybody, Miss
Thank y'all.
Independent, Peaky, D Reno, Eric, driving that last. We appreciate everybody, man. We'll see everybody tomorrow. Powerful, a constant drop. Again, I appreciate every guest that always appear to have these conversations. And those guests that when they get comfortable enough, they cam up. And the world could pay attention, listen, and see. I really appreciate everybody. No matter what walk of life you come from, no matter how old you are. I love and appreciate all input because it allows for us to have a conversation and it allows for the conversation to get carried on. Much love and much appreciation. Pay attention.
How much money is in your guys' bank account?
About like 750.
Are you kidding me? I have like 80K in my bank account. Cheap ass. I think so, for real.
I fucking pay for everything. Are you fucking kidding me?
You're supposed to pay for everything.
I just took you out for fucking lobster and pasta.
You have to pay.
Doesn't mean shit to help out sometimes. I pay for a rent, a car. I pay for everything. And you're telling me you have 80K in your bank. Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you that.
You have to pay attention to the fact that so many times you could sacrifice everything for somebody and they could still deem you as being cheap. They could still take advantage of you. If you dating as a man, you trying to find a potential suitor, you taking several women out, you spending several different monies on several different occasions. Okay? It adds up. Nobody cares. However, your counterpart over there, she's able to stack, 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 and use you. And then after the fact, say, nah. So you need to be aware and pay attention to that. We having so much different content under certain type of context. I got to get it out. So the bigger players going to show up on a regular basis every day to interact, to have conversation, to converse, to learn, to educate, to laugh a little, to drop some gems and allow other people to drop some gems and just bring you the real. Period. Sometimes we get a little more time for the talking points. Other time we get a lot more time for the engaging and interacting with other people from all walks of life from all across the world. Tap in. You hear me? Because this is how we going. I appreciate you paying attention to that segment. Facts or fiction?
Freezing out here. It's about 60 degrees. Thank you. It's cold.
I really don't have to say much. If you have eyes and you can see, bear witness. If you can do so, just bear witness. Has social media shined the light on clout chasing, on mental illness, on attention seeking? Has it exposed the level of narcissism that exists? As I talk and I speak about experiences, I also talk to give insight. I also talk to ask questions. I also talk to motivate. And I also be quiet and listen to learn. I see you soon.
Pastors lying to the public, they ain't got the truth in them. Lights out, gas off, bootless, this city pimping. Blocks on fire cause the homeowners broke as fuck. Taxes up, water bill higher than a Civic truck. It's a bigger place.